Alright, now I should be live, I think. Yes. Yes, hello. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will have hopefully... If you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully there will be a comment or a description. Yeah, there we go. With all the time links and shit. Timestamps. There we go. Okay. Stream is finally live. I don't know what it was before. Did you see me like for 1 minute stream before? Put this in the old chat. Okay, never mind. Okay, that works. Right. Everything should ideally be fine now. But you obviously never know. Hang on, I think that's much better, isn't it? Right. Else seems good. Obviously, this is just a meme. Let's put it away. All right, so we're gonna cast some more tournament games. I don't know if we will be able to get through all of them or if we will only cast a few and then maybe I can't talk and then maybe play some games. One set of matches that I definitely want to go over is the oh, I'm sorry, is the Nande or AI versus S Musain match. Before we go into the first match, let's check out both of their decks. So when it comes to Nande or AI, we have in the first match we have this, and for S Musain we have this. Alright, what are the decks? We have Baltic and Finland. Right. Nande sent in both Finland and Baltic front, which I found very interesting. Good games or Firestarter games? Well, it depends on what kind of Firestarter games, but when Nande plays, there's nearly always something weird going on. Alright, let's take a look at Musain's deck. Alright, okay, first thing that I know, this is only one card of Erikois, which I found very interesting. Sergei Mod, also interesting. Not really a unit that I'm a huge fan of. Not a horrible unit, but two cards of ASFs, 3 even if we count this one. No bomber at all, but a rocket bot lane, which is interesting. It's not a bad rocket bot lane, it's fast, which is important. One of the most important things about rocket bot lanes. Interesting that he didn't choose the MiG-21 MF Poland, which has an incredibly short reload time, but is significantly worse versus like single lightly armored targets that have like 2, 3, or 4 armor. Instead of a second card of Erikois, he's using a T-55 or the Alouette, depending on how you see it. Alouette being just a cheap recon helicopter. It's very slow. I think it's even slower than the Mi-1. Oh no, it's actually a tiny bit faster. Just a tiny bit. I think other than the Erikois and the plane tab, it's not really nothing out of the ordinary. And even including these units, it's not really a weird deck. But let's take a look at Nande's deck. So he has 2 cards of Erikois, one of them upfitted, one that's in a helicopter. 2 cards of Charity. I mean, in all fairness, Finland, like these, the Mati is alright. But it has all. I'm sorry for the coughing. But it does have only poor optics. And the 75 point T72 is just trash. So, I mean, you don't really need a medium tank since you have the Recon T55 that he also takes 2 cards of downwetted. Yeah, carry spam recoilless rifle squads in the 5-pointer. Okay, you don't see that very often. I would have probably chosen a BP1 for 10 points instead. Spikes in the 5-pointer as well. I'm not a fan of that because a BTR 50 not only is it obviously tracked and thus slower than the wheel transports, but it also has just such a slow off-road speed. So even for 5-pointers, it is pretty slow. And for something as important as ATGMs, I think an XA would have been better. He really likes these setters users, like he really loves them. North Korea and China, or only one of them, I'm not sure, also have access to them, and he also loves it in those decks. No marksman, no Urigan, because he also doesn't really use a fob. T55 CV, I'm not a fan of. Again, one top armor tank CVs I don't like. Also uses the rocket valve plane, also uses the Biz, but he also doesn't have access to the Syria, so he probably, yeah, he does have the Hawk instead of the Syria basically, and the F-18 instead of the Polish MiG-29. Nothing really too fancy other than the fact that it's just pure Finland. But AI versus game 1 highway. All right. Hello Crot, hello Briss. Yes, this stream will be available as a normal video afterwards, unless YouTube does some weird shit, but yes, it should be available. Alright, let's quickly go through the deployment. Is it a full 40-minute game? It is. I'm not gonna watch this on 1x speed, by the way. Right, so, Esmosign. Sorry, had to cough, but this time you hopefully didn't hear that because I muted myself. Let's just let him drive just a tad. So, the 2 KTs. He did originally have a Super Puma with air recoils, but removed that. This is why I also skipped through the end of the deployment, because I don't want to comment on stuff that gets bought and then deleted anyways. So one group, Mod, Motor, IDO 90, air recoils, BTR 50, probably going for the right side, maybe defending. And this either going for the mid area or potentially a push left. But if I had to guess, I'd say that this is for defending left together with AKT. And this is going towards this Delta Echo area. On this side, not a single helicopter other than the Alouette. So probably what's on the right side of the road is going towards the right side, if I had to guess. It's usually how wargame pathfinding works. It looks like he's weird. If this is correct, then all of this is going to the right side. There's a lot of infantry, a lot of support units, but not a single tank. But the mod and a couple of squads are going to decide. Does he want to push Charlie without a tank? Right. Okay. I just wanted to skip ahead a bit because when everything is on a single road, it's hard to make out what's going where. So, if I had to guess, these are driving up there because I hate the pathfinding here sometimes. When you select your units in the spawn and tell them to fast move in, let's say, this area, they're not gonna take this road here. They want to take this road here. That's probably what happened here as well. Smoke here already. Probably just preemptive just in case. Slow this down. KT here doing, oh, he's doing this nasty trick. He loves that. So what you can do is when you have a helicopter flying and it's currently not over a building or a forest, basically as if the change altitude option is available for you. What you can do is you can tell the helicopter to move over any forest and hold shift and then press change altitude, and then it will change altitude within a forest. I don't think this works with landing, but as you can see, this helicopter is hovering in the forest, meaning that, you know, it's not, you can't spot it from this area here. You can only spot it like from this cone here, and that obviously makes it very hard to engage with anti-air systems, since 0.2 seconds aim time on so many helicopter weapons means that, you know, before the AA finished aiming, it's dead. Hello. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Hello, Changhon Lee from South Korea. Alright, this is all going mid. A lot of spikes, actually just 2 spikes, but both in this area. Nothing going for here. KT defending against this. The problem with the KT here is that if he started with Eriko as there, he could have killed it. Okay, KT's take care of it. I don't mind he went over this area, which is weird. Maybe because he spotted the KT earlier. No T-55 towards left, actually. Can we get a deck check for 15 minutes? Alright. Okay, so we have the mod engaging the Yakari 90. Spikes taking care of. I'm just kidding, of course. Spikes taking care of some IFV here. I'm not sure if they're not getting spotted just yet. The Sissy are down there. If the Sissy were up there, the spikes would easily get spotted. Still puzzled by the idol 90 here, because it's such an expensive unit. Mod versus mod. Oh, that's the 40% stabilizer for you. Nande's mod was reversing, and I think I didn't fully pay attention, but it looked like that the mod of Esmo's sign was standing still the moment it shot. So Nande missed the second shot, which came out first, obviously, and would have killed the other mod. But tough luck. That 40% stabilizer is really something that you shouldn't forget about. Nande finally buying a spike for this town, which is, I mean, not important. You know, as we see, there's barely anything, but also as Messiah, neither of them have a spike team in there. KT, by the way, also hovering in that forest here. Honestly, this is probably cheese if you ask me, but outside of Nande, nobody has really used it, and hopefully that stays that way. Nande moving up here. CV already being bought for Asmussen. Yeah. I was just about to say he should definitely reroute this towards Delta, as he does. Well, here's the KT with the Yakari by Asmussen. As a flank defense, okay, originally I thought he wanted to drive this around towards the spawn, which would probably not work unless... Oh, Jesus! That T-55 has bad optics. That's if you get confused from time to time, because there's bad and there's poor and both are red, so it's sometimes hard to realize which one is worse, right? At least maybe for a for non-native English speaker like me. But bad is worse than poor, and it is really bad. So I was originally gonna say that, you know, if the T-55 hits, which there's a decent chance, it will probably be able to get 2, maybe even 3 shots of a KT. You know, that's fast moving down here. The T-55 should win. However, it has bad fucking optics, so it's... I don't know if it would... like, when it would be able to even spot the KT. Not to mention the infantry. So, yes, that could easily get killed, honestly. But, like, a lot of tank CVs or other CVs have medium optics, I believe. What about a cheap CV? Even a cheap CV has medium optics. So, where did they comparisons? I can't see them. Okay, hang on. I can show you Firestarter stack from last time. Is that okay for you? A lot of base defense from Esmusan, which is good because Nande really likes to fly around with shit, at least when he's playing Baltic or Finland. Nande, I'm not sure if he's not aware that this pave is spotted or that he doesn't really care, because sometimes you want... or you want that this gets spotted and hoping that you can maybe get an ambush, you know, maybe Nanda thinks that Esmosine could get a nice shot on this, and then Nanda surprises him with a second shot of the T-55 and shit like that. So maybe he's fully aware that this pave is spotted and doesn't do anything against it on purpose. This is always hard to judge. Here we can see perfectly what I said earlier. The KT just completely wrecking the Yauza. But getting wrecked by the XA, but too little too late. Meanwhile, Nanda lost this town here. KTs are such good fire support for cheap. It's so good for like attacking very lightly fortified buildings. With just one squad inside or something like that. Also not a spike in this area, which I think also would have helped massively in this scenario. T-55 also being kind of out of position. The spike here does effectively the same job for the most part, so the T-55 probably would have been better either in this forest or just at the edge there. And they're trying to get in here. Yeah, also moving up his pave and giving fire support with this mortars. Very important. Should have probably split those and made sure that the other squad immediately moves to the right into the forest before they get caught out by the KT. Also, Nanda managed to get in here, which is very, very good. Still has a foothold in here as well. Esmosine hasn't done anything against that just yet. Then again, it's not like Nanda does at the moment do anything with this, although he doesn't really have a whole lot of sight with these air decoys. He should potentially, you know, try to move them up and see if he can get some nice line of sight. Or maybe he's just waiting for a moment to potentially buy a CV that Esmosine bought too early. Play 1991? What do you mean when you say that? Hey Fear getting shot at by the mod. Down to 4 HP, should retreat immediately, and thus so. 14 front armor, of course, even at max range. The mod will be able to two-shot a pave, so that's something that you have to be wary of. Actually, never. No, I'm correct. Yeah, it can, even at max range, two-shot a pave. Ericois. BTR 50s sitting there doing nothing. I assume he bought them from this spawn towards gold for golf, but just forgot about them. The supplies being bought here to repair the tanks. Esmosine is ticking, however, slowly but surely, but it's just a +1, and there's more than 30 minutes left, so still all to fight for, really. I'm wondering though if Esmosine or when Esmosine is gonna do something against that Ericois, killing a KT. Ericois, however, same with LSTR, are not that great at assaulting infantry because without the MG, they don't quite have the DPS of normal elite squad. So it's gonna take a while for them to kill something like the Sissy, so they won't get spotted anymore. Mod being bought by Nanda for this side. I'm wondering if he just wants to cut off this spawn here and just let him sit here in this area. Basically hold on this line and just force Esmosine to kind of sit here, or just worse back here and then push into this line from this angle here. I don't know. Nanda always does weird stuff. Oh, well, I guess. I was gonna say, he probably just lost line of sight on the spikes since the Ericois died, but they're out of ammo anyway, so they're not a huge danger. One thing that Nanda does not have is an anti-tank plane. As I say that the Syria is coming in, mod is not spotted. It's out in the open still, and spotted. Driving into the smoke now. Got lucky. I'm not sure if that would have been a side shot. I think he might have been a bit too slow in turning. I'm not sure. Eriko is shooting at. Eriko is hit if the I-90 can connect with 65% accuracy. Are you telling me that the veterancy alone makes up for the 20% ECM? Jesus. Because okay. I'm kind of baffled now. Like 65% is the base accuracy, and then of course it's coming in unhardened, and the series has 20% base has ECM. Huh. Okay. Now they're trying to assault here with basically no fire support. Fire support not really the issue here, but basically anything that can kill the KTs, i.e. the T-55. It's no, I'm not surprised about the fact that the I-90 has 65% accuracy. Like, I know that, and it's very good. I'm surprised by the fact that the 20% ECM is only enough to negate the effect of the veterancy. So I would have expected that the 65% base accuracy I-90 at hardened would have something like, I don't know, 50% accuracy effectively versus the Syria. You know, I'm not surprised about the fact that it has, you know, this range, this HE and no radar with its accuracy on top of being wheeled or something. You know, I'm more surprised about the interaction with veterancy and ECM and whatnot. Well, not interaction, but more like math. One KT finally killed, the other one out of ammo. Did a whole lot of damage though. Ah, KT gets killed. Someone messaged me. Unfortunately, those Panzer Yakari weren't in the town. I think I'm not sure if they were full HP before, but if they were, they probably would have been able to finish those Yakari-90, since there was no fire support to kill them quickly enough. Alright, in mid, what did the mod just kill? I think this is a T-55. Yeah, the Recon T-55, spotted by those Sissy. Oh, now they could get a crossfire here with the Pave and the mod here. Doesn't move out the mod at all though. I guess it's because he doesn't really know what's in here. Yeah, I don't like the position of the mod here. I think he should move up into this and try to get into this forest. If he gets into here, holding down this is a lot more plausible, I guess. So he can push up into here with the paves and some infantry support. Neither of them hit. Oh, got an optical failure on this. It's unfortunate. Oh, he's still in range. Ah. Definitely preventable. I guess Nanda just didn't realize that he was still in range of the mod. He just... No, okay. For a second I thought he killed the second page, but he did not. As a second Erikoy squad, he hasn't really done anything with the first one yet, which he doesn't have to, because, you know, sometimes just spotting this is enough. Second one coming in though as well. And the Pumas, I'm not sure if pushing up those Pumas is the right choice. The fact that they're still alive is a good indication that Esmusan doesn't know that they're there. And if Esmusan doesn't know that they're there, he also doesn't know that Erikoys are there. But him moving up these Super Pumas could give away the fact that there is something behind enemy lines. Or the T-55 CV here, moving up the mod in here now. So I suppose he more or less wants to give up Delta. Or take it light on Delta at the very least. And going for Echo, Charlie, and potentially Golf. But he hasn't really lost his foothold in Golf, but I think there's just too much in Golf for him to deal with. Although, You know, all of these units still have not been contested at all, while Esmusign has actually reinforced all of this. How did they get past this from these B tier 50s, past these Panzer without engaging? And the MI-17 is gonna get shut down here. I think I should pause less. It's just 18 minutes in, and I don't know how long. I've been streaming for over 25 minutes now. I'm just gonna stop pausing for now, so we can actually get over more than just one replay today. Spike spam coming out, CC, so Spike's obviously gonna be wonderful in unlocking this down, since there's only 3 ways for him to get down into Echo, I guess 4 if we count this. And there's nothing in here as well, which is actually pretty bad for Esmusign. If Nana realizes that he can take this for free, and as long as he holds this, Esmusign is gonna have a really bad time of getting into Echo. Panzer Yakari got dealt with. Erikos obviously got spotted when they killed the CV. KT's in the flank here, like I said before, can potentially kill the T-55 here, especially if he hadn't split them up. It would have been potentially too much for the single T-55 to deal with those bad optics. Doesn't look like Nana knows they're there. I'm too weak dealing with those. I guess Esmusign still has eyes here, which is important, and potentially a really big deal. Mod being moved over to this now, to the left. Interesting. He only has 1 spike squad there, so he obviously thinks that this is safe enough now. But him moving over the mod means that Esmusign can very easily now take this foothold here. I suppose that Nanda thinks that something is in here. Gas being moved away now because he saw this KTs driving down there. I mean, obviously Esmusign doesn't know that, but it probably would have been better if he tried to go for the spawn. 3 paves here now, so with the mod and those Yakari spam, you should have a rather easy time of getting back into Delta. There's not a whole lot of units supporting the mods, so not a whole lot of meat shields other than the Yakari 90. This is basically just eyes, you know, nothing else. But at the same time, not a whole lot of stuff in Charlie either. 20 minutes left, Esmusign is still leading, but Nanda is basically about to take Delta back, while Esmusign is basically getting potentially Charlie. It depends on how aggressive Esmusign is. It doesn't really have a whole lot of infantry just yet, you know, it's coming just yet to support the work, so it may be a bit wary of pushing it up on its own. Esmusign realizing this is just too much for him to deal with. 3 paves, and don't tell me I missed the mod getting killed. Don't tell me I missed the mod getting killed. No. I missed the mod getting killed again. Oh no. Just like Firestarter's Leclerc. Well, it looks like the mod killed another mod. I'm actually blind. Okay. Well, I guess this time maybe I wasn't blind, but saw this. Erikos spotted the gas. Morders, plural, not quite able to kill the gas. Pave missing stationary. Oh, that's unfortunate. But Mod finally getting killed. Pave's or nothing able to spot the spikes. M1 will getting damaged by this Nanda spike. Kind of like I said, Esmusign not very aggressive just yet, allowing Nanda to reinforce this. Either 90 should be able to deal with the KT once it gets line of sight. Wilkerson's gonna pick up those charioteers, no problem. Another pave being called in. Nanda doesn't have access to a mod anymore. I think he only gets 2 even in Finland. So Nanda, not enough to push him out of Delta. He got a foothold here again, pushed out again though. I think those medium optics, he could have just sit there honestly, and now Esmosine can get back in here for free. Weird. At the same time, now they're also losing Charlie, so not the best trade for Nanda. He killed the mod, but he's driving out again, letting Esmosine get back in here while losing Charlie. Not looking great. Eriko's in the back haven't really done a whole lot either. I think that's the squad that was back here originally. I'm not sure. Getting hunted down. Yeah, and now basically no full total left there. Haves obviously can do a lot of work, but None is just missing the support units. And that's 14 front armor. That's why the Paves can, in certain situations, like against other heavy tanks, be so good. But in other situations, like this one, where you're not really dealing with super heavies, that's where you probably prefer the Wilk with the extra front armor. What is Nanda doing? Nanda is doing Nanda things. Massing up Paves, unsupported. Spamming 3 stacks of sissies. That's just Nanda. Gas. That wasn't Charlie. Nearly running out of fuel. Oh no. Come on, Nande. You can kill that mod. Yeah, there we go. Again, mods, you have to be very careful that they don't get... I guess that was a good reason for why he moved them back, because with only 14 front armor, Panzerjäger Nande can just 2-shot them. Ido 90, being a bit close there. Nande doing Nande things, fast moving down the highway. Can work out, but those KTs, when they hit side armor... Yep, that's one T-55 dead. Oh, it's gonna be another one dead. Yep. That's the KT for you. Yeah, this is not looking very good for Nande. Let's just speed this up a bit. Eriko is finally getting something done, but probably too little too late, because even in the long run, Nande would have to push him out of Delta. And even then, either counter cap Charlie or potentially Foxtrot maybe. Spike getting another pave kill. Yeah, I felt like Nande rather often lacked supporting units, either for his tanks when he was lacking infantry, or for his infantry when he was lacking the fire support. Or it was just mispositioned. And then his mod micro, losing the mods both times. Unfortunately, I missed the second time. Not that great. Losing the pave to those two works, also very unfortunate, of course. And also spending a lot of points on those air decoys in the back. It's kind of tough to do something with them, since Hotel has a lot of open field. I think he... I'm not sure if it was 2 or maybe even 3 squads in the end that he basically just bought for sneaking around, and it just didn't pay off. On maps like Punch Bowl or Plunging, you know, it can much easier. You can much easier get something out of them. But on this map, it could sometimes be a bit harder, as we saw here. Nande buying 7 T-55s in total here. Again, Nande just doing Nande things. And Nande is like the most... He's an enigma in a way. On the one hand, he does the weirdest, you know, let me just 4-stack super heavies and fast move them down the road kind of plays. And other times he does some mad genius shit. Or just, you know, fast moving down T-55s with a 15-point stabilizer, 15% stabilizer, you know? But, yeah. it was still kind of close, but I think nearly the whole match, throughout the whole match, Asmussen was just always just that little bit ahead. Just a little bit ahead. You know? I think there was never really a point, outside of the end when it was like 5 minutes left, obviously, but positioning wise and KD wise, etc., etc., I think there was never really a point where Asmussen was in a commanding position. So Finland kind of sucks. It doesn't really. I think the only thing you're missing is an ATGM plane, which obviously sucks, but you can kind of live with, I'd say, Right, let's take a look at their map, their decks for the second game. Nande playing USSR. Asmussen playing Entente. Alright. Let's take a look at this USSR deck. If it's not a good medium, yeah, it's not. That's because it isn't really a medium. But for one, I'd say that 120 point tank, personally, I wouldn't categorize as a medium, but whatever. But let's compare it to an M2 rig, which is like very straightforward, heavy, medium heavy, right? I think it's kind of basic in a way, fairly standard AP and armor distribution. Not too fast, not too slow, etc., etc. And the pave is just there for being able to kill super heavies, right? And I guess bully medium tanks at max range. And the M2 Wilk is just, outside of close range, you won't really do too much against heavies, but it's just more all-purpose, whereas the pave is just, I wouldn't say niche, but obviously more directed towards just being able to kill the heavier tanks and operating at max range. Obviously, 14 front armor, as you said in chat, allows you to survive a 30 AP shot, kinetic shot. Meaning that, as long as you're showing front armor, you're never gonna get one shot by a tank. But at 120 points, that is kind of a given, right? And at 120 points, that fact alone isn't really a big deal, because a Leopard 2F5 also can survive just one shot of 30 KE, right? So at point blank range, it's just as survivable as a super heavy against other tanks, right? But if you're getting into the 120 point-ish price range, you're not just looking at the fact that you can survive 30 kinetic AP. You're also looking at the fact how many ATGMs can a tank will I get one shot by a 30 AP plane. A Syria can one shot a pave, meaning a Syria can only needs to it with one of its missiles. When you're looking at an M2 Wilk, the Syria needs to connect with both. If you're looking at spikes need to hit the M2 Wilk, I believe, 4 times in order to kill it. Only 3 times for a pave, and if the pave is at 9 HP, it's only 2 times, okay? So if you're getting into the more expensive price range, you're not just looking at these hard armor values, you're also looking at how does it fare up against other anti-tank things, especially when these tanks, being so expensive, are often on their own, and you can't just, brush away a loss of them. So that 14 AP armor means that it is very micro-intensive, even though it's quote-unquote only 120 points. I really do like the pave, but I think it's kind of a map-ish dependent. Like on a map like Hell in a very small place, I would always go for the Wilk. On a map like Mudfight, I'd probably go for a pave, etc., etc. I wouldn't say that one is straight up better than the other, unless we're talking about specific things like Hell in a very small place or something. It's just that the they're just used differently, and you don't really see that as often nowadays, or yeah, I guess in that price range. Usually all the tanks are more or less used the same. Like, use an M1A2 the same you use a T-72 BU, right? It's just a super heavy tank. The missile doesn't really change the role of the BU. Same, let's say, T-64 BV or an M2 Wilk, or an M2 Wilk and a Leopard 2A4. They're basically doing the same thing, right? Or a Twardy, or a Wilk and an M84A, more or less doing the same thing, except for the fact that the M84A does the same thing, just significantly better, right? But the pave, having that very special armor and AP distribution, obviously requires more micro and a different usage. Back to the decks though. For a second match. Nande's Soviet deck. Alright. Spetsnaz VMF. One of the few, potentially only players to really use 2-man sniper squads. And as you will see if you're gonna watch the video on Thursday that I'm gonna upload, I also started using them more deliberately. I used them beforehand, only really in my Scandi deck to sneak around and kill stuff with the beacon, but I'm also starting to experiment in other decks with them, and so far have been quite some success. I've said it before though, even before I experimented myself, they're just kind of underrated maybe, but just I think a lot of people just brush them away sometimes. I think it's either people using them all the time or people using them never. I think there's hardly the type of people who use them normally, I guess. Yeah, people often underestimate the exceptional stealth. Other than that, fairly straightforward. BTR 80A instead of BTR 90. Nanda not using a single BTR 90, which I found interesting. I think with the Spetsnaz crew, I probably would have at least used one of them in the 90. The 90 with the grenade launcher can be so strong, obviously. And at that price range, 50 versus 60 points, not a huge difference when you only get 4 of them per card anyways. Infantry tab, nothing too special either. Modest strike in the MTLBV just for... Jesus, I'm coughing a lot today. I'm trying to mute out most of it. Not the best spam all round infantry that you can get. But it's not like you have anything else available. No 5-pointer with more armor, no other 10-point infantry. So that's all you can get. BMP1D used to see more play nowadays, not very often. It's still okay. It's basically 15 points for a grenade launcher. The Grom rarely does an impact, and when you look at it that way, 20 points for basically just a grenade launcher transports. Sorry for that. South Korea gets a grenade launcher transport for 15 points, while their 10-point infantry is also quite a bit better. So, yeah. Then again, it's Soviets. If Soviets had strong infantry or very strong infantry combinations, that would not be good for the meta. Then VDV9 in the MTV and BTRD, very standard, conquers M. Again in the 5-pointer. Again, I would personally prefer it in the wheel transport, but at least it's a decent 5-pointer. I'm still a bit sick from last week. Oh, whoa. Yeah, if I'm muted for like longer periods of time, like 15-20 seconds, I'm probably muted myself because I have to cough again. Support tab, nothing outstanding. Tank tab, nothing all too outstanding either, except, I mean, there's nothing between the B and T80UM. Not a huge issue though, I'd say. He really likes T80s, it's just something that you should realize. None likes his T80s. No BMPT, not a huge issue, I think, again, mainly because you also have the T80, which, while it's obviously not a great fire support for the price, it's such a good all-around tank that you often have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 even lying around, that they have such a high burst damage with the 4 HE and good rate of fire. It can kind of fill the same role as well. And a lot of ASFs, a lot of air potential. MiG-27K on Elite, probably because otherwise it comes on Rookie, whereas many others come on Trained. MiG-23ML for the Helo Hunter. Putin likes to use the MLD, I think. Yeah, they're both fine. ML should be noted, has only 1 second reload time on the missiles instead of 2. Obviously, they're also quite a bit worse, but it's something that you should pay attention to. 30 degrees outside and he gets sick. Well, it's not 30 degrees outside anymore. It's been cloudy and rainy for the past 2 days, 3 days. But I did get sick like 1 week ago. I'm still sick of that. And then it was like 20 something degrees outside. It was pretty warm, so it was shitty. Yeah, nothing too fancy. No helicopter at all. Other than the MTV, he doesn't really have a single helicopter in his deck. MTV and MI24K. And MTV from the helicopter CV. Infantry CV. That's actually very interesting. ML is too unreliable. Maybe, but I think it's also... The other thing is MLD is just also a very expensive plane, kind of. And I think it's also not as reliable as something like Little Sur, since it comes with only one slot of missiles. Alright, let's take a look at Esmo Science deck. Alright, 3 cards of CVs. Using that Yugo mortar. Two cards of ASFs. No special needed notkeys. Using the 40-point buff instead of the 30-point, which you usually see. And using Drooks in a tab 71. Why take ML when you can take PD except for anti-helo? Well, because you take it for anti-helo. that's the sole purpose of the plane. As someone pointed out, 3HE doesn't kill a helo. Well, 5HE also barely kills helos. You don't see a lot of 4HE helos. But most of the time when you're gonna engage a helicopter with a plane, it's gonna dive down the plane and the MLD is gonna get 2 missiles off, and the ML should get 4 missiles off. So you can do the math yourself. I'm gonna be too lazy for that. Most of the time the MLD should just be more reliable, but at the same time the ML is also just cheaper, so it's not nearly as much of a commitment. And maybe Nande is also not really using it for killing, more so as it is for spotting potentially. I don't know. Back to Esmo Science deck. No weird choices outside of this mortar. I would always use the 5HE mortar. The low HE has a faster aim time, I believe, and it also has a higher rate of fire, of course, but the low range means that it has a much bigger issues supporting multiple front lines at once, and that's why the range of 5HE mortars is gonna be so useful. No Moderna, no victory. Hot take, the Moderna is overrated. I guess it's not really overrated, but I think in a 1 versus 1, using the M91A and the M91 combination instead of M91A and Moderna is better. I find the VOD to be just more useful. Moderna has issues versus other heavy tanks at close range versus super heavies in general. The main thing it has going for it is the availability and autocannon. Autocannon, it is great, but it runs out of ammo quickly, and with Entente you have autocannons and fire support everywhere anyways. And 3 availability is not gonna matter a whole lot. In team games it's a completely different scenario, but in 1 versus 1, chances are that there are a lot of situations where you lost your Moderna where the VOD would have survived. Simply because it's faster, it has better armor, and it can defend itself just simply better against other tanks, which are the main threat, obviously, except for anti-tank planes, obviously. So that's why I think the M91A is just a better choice. Matters when you play and lose 2 of them. Chances are that when you lost 2 of them, you're in really bad shape anyways. And like I said, chances are that at the point where you lost 2 Modernas, there's a good chance that you would have only lost 1 Vihor or none of your Vihors. And yes, Moderna suffers because of its accuracy. That and the rate of fire means that it's significantly worse versus other tanks, and yes, it's just so much worse. Sorry again, came out of nowhere. It it's just gonna die a lot more to other tanks than the Vihor would, because it is worse at killing, and thus the enemies get more chances at shooting at you. If you're missing your second shot versus an M84A at close range, good chances the M84A is just gonna kill you because you missed your shot. But a Vihor with much better stabilized and accuracy and 10 RPM is able to get a second shot of most of the time first, and also hit more reliably. And the much better quite a bit better off-road speed also helps a lot with like peekaboo out in and out of forests and smoke. More rounds for smoke, someone said. Yeah, that is true, but the low HE mortar also shoots more rounds per volley, and the individual smoke clouds are smaller. So the low HE mortar also needs more rounds for the same amount of smoke. So more ammo isn't really an argument for the mortar in this case. Also, no speciality at Not-Ded-Yet. Proscrimincy are nice and all, don't get me wrong, but they really struggle versus like anything IFV that isn't like on its own in the forest or something. Moderna is supposed to take out support units and isolate enemy tanks. The M91A can do that as well. No, that's on town, not Yugo National. Again, the Moderna autocannon is nice and all, but it runs out of ammo so quickly. And when you're playing Yugo, you nearly always have PvPs or M60PBs lying around that can deal with the support units. So while the autocannon is great, and with the extra RPM, with the 2 extra RPM, if you deal with a lot of cheap vehicles, probably the M91A is just gonna be still quicker dealing with a lot of IFVs than the Moderna, just because of the extra RPM, and the autocannon is gonna shoot at basically the same target anyways. Stunts infantry in forest, again, you should always have infantry and fire support with your tank anyways. Of course, there's gonna be situations where suddenly your tank is on its own, and that's where the autocannon can shine. I'm not saying it's useless, the autocannon, but I think people often overstate its usefulness or overestimate. You don't see check units. Most of the recon type is check. Enough of that Moderna thing. I know you have a boner for the Moderna. I'm not really saying you're wrong, but I think people overestimate. Fuck this, I'm saying you're wrong. At least for 1 versus 1 scenarios. I think for 1 versus 1 scenarios, the Vihor is just, on average, the better tank. Period. Okay. I'm not saying the Moderna is a bad take. I'm saying that, shut the fuck up, I'm not gonna stop talking. What I'm saying is, if you had to choose between the Moderna and the Vihor, because you want other tanks in your deck as well, and you only want 1 card of super heavies, then I would choose the Moderna at the Vihor. Enough of that now. One thing that really bothers me about this deck is the drug in the tab choice. Why the T55 point T55? I'll go over this in a bit. So the thing about the drug for 15 points, it is amazing. 20 AP, good enough range, pretty good accuracy. It's more accurate than Milan too, okay? And has the same range. 15 points is, for 15 points, it's an amazing or very good ATGM infantry. But if you're buying it with the tab 71, you're already paying 30 points for this. 30 points for a single ATGM squad. That is quite a lot. That is quite a commitment. And for 30 points, this doesn't perform well. So that's why if you're using the drug, I would always use it in the 5-pointer, because then you get this for 20 points a pop. And then this becomes quite a bit cheaper, and you can spam them around a lot more. But for 30 points, you can't really spam them. And instead, for 10 points more, you could just get a Congress M, which for 10 points more, but it's just it's just better in every way, right? More AP, more range. So if you're already spending 15 points just simply on the transport, making this not very spammable, then you might as well go all in on the Conqueror's M. Either go for the Conqueror's M and the wheeled transport, or I guess helicopter transport if you're that type of person, or go for, if you're going, let me put it this way, if you're going for the drug because they're cheap, go use them in the 5-pointer, because otherwise you're defeating the purpose of them being cheap. I guess the PP kind of works as well, but I'd still just go for the 5-pointer. Why the 55-point T55 instead of the 65-point one? Oh, that's a very good question. Just one simple reason, because the 65-point T55 AM2 Dyna 1 is just utter trash. It has bad optics, it is slow, and it has a bad gun. The only thing it has going for it is the Arcane. And for 65 point, and it's a 65 point glorified Arcane carrier. You get 4 Arcanes for 65 points at 13 front armor, and that's all you get. The gun is trash with bad accuracy. Well, not bad, okay accuracy, bad stabilizer, but most importantly, bad range. For 65 points, that's bad range. On top of the fact that the T55 does not have an autoloader. If it was a 10 RPM autoloaded gun, that would be a different scenario, but it's 8 RPM manually loaded at that range is bad. And as someone pointed out, the optics. Poor optics on a 65 point tank that isn't a forest tank is bad. This is a tank you want to use at max range. And then it kind of, there are situations, you know, generally you always want a scout around, but sometimes they die, sometimes they don't have line of sight to a certain unit. That's why you want medium optics on your mainline tanks, and it doesn't have that. It is not very self-sufficient. It has a bad gun, meaning that once it runs out of Arcanes, it's a trash tank. Yeah. Arcane is a damn good ADGM. Yes, it is, but not for 65 points when you get only 4 of them. Only really use them when you get an armored, because then you can get the tank on veteran or elite or whatever. Meaning the Arcane is very accurate, and you also have the space and activation points in your deck to put a nearly useless tank into your deck. It's a very niche tank that is inconsistent in non-armor decks and has a very niche role. Well, I guess I said it with niche tank. That is basically useless once you're out of Arcanes. I mean, basically useless is maybe an exaggeration, but what you get for 65 points is just not very good. If you want a missile tank, get the T72 M1M, because that tank is actually useful once it's out of missiles. Or if, I guess, get this one, because that is also kind of okay once it out of missiles for 40 points. And can shoot main gun and HGM at the same time, because Yushin couldn't be bothered to actually fix this kind of bullshit. Enough of that. Alright. Again, outside of, I'd say, the drugs, it's a fairly standard deck. And outside of the drugs, I have the same infantry lineup actually. Although I do downwet my Mechanisovana. No OSAS or MOT, but he has 2 cards of ASFs. One thing that I failed to mention is he doesn't have the L17K. He doesn't really have a fast, instant option to deal with helicopters. He does have the Prachka and the Buff, which are both weird, but the Prachka has a lack of missiles to effectively deal with more than one helicopter, and even then it's a bit of RNG, and the Buff doesn't really have the range, so it's something to watch out for. Most enemies will use cheap units to bait the Arcanes, true, but at the same time, if you're using something, if you're heavily using a missile tank with a missile, then you should micro the missile anyways, unless you don't care about the missile. If Ghostie is still here, no, I haven't casted your games yet. Sorry, I forgot to answer that. All right, I might make this stream shorter than I thought, because for some reason I think, you know, when I'm talking a lot, I seem to have to cough a whole lot more. It was better the past few days, and now it's getting worse. What is it? Fuck. I don't know what this is, so please shut up. All right. Nande shouldn't really have an issue with the helicopter opener right here, although he's only using one on the left side. Oh yeah, typical Nande, just spamming 3 stack off. Beater 88s with Spetsnaz crew. Not a whole lot of AA other than the AK, so I would assume he's starting with an ML. Weird opener. Going very heavy on the left, pretty heavy on the right as well, but also heavy on the mid. So I'm not sure what his plan is. Kind of very straightforward. Light on the right, pretty heavy in mid. So I guess he's doing a push in here, or I guess he's traveling down this road for Bravo. Some people like to do that. Took 10 seconds, nearly 10 seconds for him to move these units over there. Well, get on it, brother. Let's go cast the clown games. Moderna's better on this map. It's only potentially better in mid, and even then I wouldn't agree. Because if you, from Nanda's perspective, got through the mid and get into this area, then your RPM and better accuracy is a lot more helpful than the fucking autocannon. And if you're pushing from the other side, then the V-Horse is basically always gonna be better, because there's not a whole lot of forests to fight with. So, Mike, stop jerking off to the Moderna. Alright, let's get this actually going. Right, I'm not gonna pause now, because otherwise it's gonna take ages again. Oh, Hera, actually, yeah, that's a dual Browning for you. BTR80 Ace are gonna say, no, just not enough to say. If he should have moved back with his MTV. Either he didn't pay attention or he thought he'd survive this. No smoke whatsoever for the T80VM, and not a lot of support either. Esmosan definitely pushing mid. I'm wondering if he pushes here because he expected to push down this forest. Otherwise, I wouldn't really personally push mid unless you have the side. Then again, you know, you never know. You can learn a lot sometimes from watching other people play and push. Oh yeah, that's the vampire for you. Oh, these VDV and 9 are gonna have a field day. Also, in case you're wondering, Nande turning off the MG, because once his VDV-90 are on attack move, that means they will always shoot the vampire once the vampire is in range. Meaning that if the MG was turned on and the enemy were to engage with infantry, the VDV-90 would then use their MG to shoot the infantry. And if then a vehicle also engages the VDV will not shoot at the vehicle with the vampire unless you tell them to. Because they can't use MG and anti-tank weapon at the same time. That's why you turn off the MG very often on your infantry when you're attack moving through forests, so that the enemy can't bait the MG and then move in with fire support, so that, you know, the VDV will always instantly shoot with their vampire once anyway. Because come in range. Yeah, we know. Oh fuck, I paused again. Yeah, we know. Dude, I know that you and many others know. But you'd be surprised at how often people ask that question. Or maybe you will not be surprised, but people ask that question every damn time. You can ask Firestarter about that as well. Okay, so now they got this for free, which is nice. Push in middle basically failed, simply because that he didn't get into mid while putting nearly all of his points in mid. Tunguska being bought on top of the AK, okay. If I would like to see Nande. Ooh. Yeah, I'd like to see Nande. I don't know. Probably buy Conquerors here. Honestly, just hold position. Just hold position. Don't even try to engage him in mid. Play defensively, reinforce this, take the town, and hold this part, and then win. Also, speed your ADAs, unloaded the Spetsnaz through, and 2 of them are sneaking around. Esmosan seems to expect that, probably also because of the last match, and probably also what he saw of the replays from previous rounds, that Nande likes to sneak around. But considering I paused, considering that he knows that, I'm not sure if this is the best position for a CV. I probably would have preferred something like this area. Nande though doesn't care about what I suggested and just pushes mid. With success, he pushed out an Esmosine, and that's horrible for Esmosine. Esmosine basically spent most of his points trying to push mid, and not only did he not get into alpha, he also lost his own mid, meaning that he's short. He played it defensively here, meaning that, you know, he has to make up ground somewhere, and the position where he tried to make up ground, he didn't just not make it up, he also lost some of his own, so that's horrible for him. Basically completely on the back foot, Nande with a complete momentum here right now. Pushing Esmosine very back, and the helicopter that he bought, also for the BDR IDAs, very big investment, just died for basically nothing. That's not cool. Didn't really do a whole lot back here though, but I think he slowed Esmosine quite a bit down with those RPG 26 shots. Mechani Savannah unfortunately won't do much against tanks. MiG-29, not a good choice. If you were gonna buy a plane, buy a Super Gallop to kill the T-80UM, but the MiG-29 is not gonna slow him down too much because there's no choke point here. So Nande can really just drive around it, literally. Didn't know it, good to us noobs. Glad it helped you. Truth be told, sometimes I do get annoyed by the question, not because, you know, how dare they ask this question. It's just that when you get asked, it asked so often, it's just normal. I should probably just make some weird frequently asked question type of document at some point. But I'm just too lazy. But yeah, now they're completely pushing through, honestly. And not only does he push through here, Esmosine is eventually gonna lose Bravo anyways, because Esmosine can't and wouldn't reinforce Bravo until he got this back. And there's a Super Gallop killing the T-80UM with a rear shot. No, there wasn't a rear shot. I think maybe the T-80UM was damaged. I kind of missed that. But I mean, that's what Nande gets for not having smoke cover for his tank. But even still, Nande's in a good position, but he shouldn't be too aggressive, I think. He's getting a bit too aggressive. He only has a T-72B, which is also damaged. And once that's dead, he doesn't have any support for his infantry, and the infantry is just moving out in the open. So I think Nande is just too aggressive at this point. M84A is also damaged, I suppose, but T-72B, this is out in the open. A single Mi-35 could maybe deal with that. Then again, there is the Tunguska. However, there are two more T-72Bs coming in. Buratino being bought. Helicopter support. MiG-29 gets out without damage, meaning that as soon as these flames are out, the MiG-29 is ready again. T-72B here, now sniping reinforcements. So this is going very badly for Esmosine. Oh, VDV-90 missing the 90-something% shot. It's unfortunate. It would have survived otherwise. Nothing stopping these MTVs here. No AA whatsoever for Esmosine. M91 VHOR, not the A, the 130 point being bought. CV is probably gonna die any minute now once these helicopters spotted. Badobranzi very strong here in this town. 1 T-72B is damaged at 1 HP by the VHOR. VHOR is panicked though, and the T-72B it's gonna die. Yep, Badobranzi and Rook gonna kill it. The other B is down to 1 HP. This B is down to 3 HP and out of ammo. CV dies. That's a +2 for Nande. BP1Ds. I think it's probably best if Nande just with this fear. I think Nande really should start playing this defensively. He can't just basically stop any push with the Buratino, buy a CV, and with the Buratino just deny his own CV, Esmosine's CV, I'd say. 2 of 30 now to deal with any more MTVs. The MTVs are dead already, and there are none more coming. 27M doesn't have line of sight on the VHOR because it's on a plateau, and he doesn't have any helicopter units to spot. He should definitely retreat this. Yeah. Ah, I think he wanted to get line of sight on the VHOR, that's why I didn't retreat. Killed the CV with a 27M, which also got out alive, unsurprisingly. Music of T80s, they're gonna have trouble with this VHOR in that much range though. Yeah, one got killed already. But there's the Buratino just basically halting this, completely panicking the VHOR, forcing it to move back. This VHOR is gonna do a lot of damage. Because at max range, he would need the spheres to do some work. The gun itself isn't gonna do all too much damage there. MiG-27K got killed by the L-18, which however got killed by the here 27M coming in, just killing the VHOR unsurprisingly. Still has one missile left. Ooh, got quite a bit of damage by the BAW 30 here. Plamen didn't do anything other than panicking the VDV. However, Esmusan is kind of back into this forest here. Nanda is lacking some actual support units. MTV doing a lot of work though. Even still though, Nanda is taking +4. And even if Esmusan is slowly coming back, he's still completely on the back foot when it comes to positioning and KD advantage, most likely. Nanda is losing a lot of stuff. Yes, he is. At the same time, however, he is ticking, and him losing stuff is not just him losing stuff, you know, it's not like he loses it for nothing. He still damages and slows down Esmusan. And, you know, it's only 12 and a half minutes left. Nanda is leading by nearly 300 points now. There's a certain point sometimes where you don't care what you lose as long as you just slow down your enemy, right? Why am I calling him Nande? I know that's a bit confusing. He used to run on the Nande Monai, was known as Nande Monai. He hasn't replayed in like 2 years now. I don't know what is Chinese or Japanese. I think it's Japanese. What these characters mean, and I'm just used to calling him Nande, okay? Or Nande, whatever you wanna say. So sorry for that confusion for everyone who doesn't know who Nande is. I also did play in 2 vs 2 tournament and played versus him before. You know, if you look at, oh, it's Korean. I don't know, dude. I don't know any Asian languages. Okay. I wasn't. I'm not trying. Not trying to be racist here. Okay. Even though I'm German, I'm not trying to be racist here. Get 233% shots and missed both. What about, oh, whatever. Okay, anyways, pretty. My KD was more in favor than Nande than it was in Esmo Science than in the game before that. And yeah, I think it was pretty clear that fairly early on Nande was gonna win this and just dominate this. I think there's not all too much to say. That's why I think the mid push, the way Esmo did, is not the best choice. Ah, we forgot to take a look at the decks for the third match. So, game 3. I think if I saw it correctly, then Esmusan is gonna run his Entente deck again. Yep. Nande is gonna play, I think it's some sort of mech deck. Red for mechanized. He's homophobic as well. Alright. Okay, a single plane. What's this? Okay, it's basically an M8 MTV substitute. 4 less rockets, however. Or 4 fewer rockets, whatever. PGC 80 instead of this one, because the PGC has more front armor, more autonomy as well, better speed, offers. Oh, so it's noticeably better. I think the thing you're gonna notice the most is probably gonna be autonomy. honestly. Like I said before, he really likes those PGC 80s. Terra I guess it's probably simply because this thing is a wield, is why he uses it. Other if he wouldn't use it, he also used to really like the CPTUs. Surprised to not see him use those. Domi is an option. SU100 is honestly a bit underrated in my opinion. It's not that horrible. Other than that, Redford doesn't really have the best vehicles. Most of the good ones are prototyped. He's not using a SNESCA at all. He's probably just gonna spam these because they are really good. If you compare them to the normal T55, you get significantly better accuracy and an MG, which shouldn't be underestimated. 6 Tors. Well, I guess you could argue that 3 Tors is enough, maybe. But the Tors are his only AA that is like actually good at killing planes. And considering he has only 1 plane, and it's also, it is an ACF, but it's a single plane. I guess he just doesn't really want to take any chances. So I think losing Tors, if you lost 3 Tors, chances are you are in a bad position, but it's far from game over. And I think it's the only. The thing is, you don't really get OSAs, so all you get are either specs or heavy AA missiles. Heavy AA missiles are too clunky and too low missiles to be used as all-round systems, and specs generally lack range against planes to be used as all-round systems most of the times. Or the Tor bridges that gap. It is on the expensive side, but it just bridges that gap of being very strong against both planes and helicopters. And yeah. Infantry tab. Nothing too surprising here. I like to run 1 card of manpads personally, especially with the Tor 7HE, those 4HE Igla manpads. At 20 points a pop. You pop them, you put them down on the whole map, like 3-4 of them. They are dirt, it's cheap. Cheap as fuck. Cheap as dirt. Dirt is cheap, Jesus. Cheap as dirt. And every now and then they're gonna get a hit, and that hit means that the Tor just has to connect 1 missile and kill the plane. He's relying on Tors to kill helos? No. I think it's more about the fact that I don't know. I think Nane is just spamming PGC 80s against everything. I think he's not just using them against helos. I don't know. I'm not Nane. The thing is, the Tor is just very self-sufficient and it is good against both. I'm not sure if he relies on them to kill helos. But yeah, it also has more ammo than something like a book. And even if he's only using them against planes, it's obviously easier, I guess, than books, simply because of the amount of missiles, and it is also just faster. Are you gonna cast my games? I don't know what I'm gonna cast after this. Someone's trolling people again. Hang on. I completely. What does this tank tab look like? Alright, nothing too surprising. M84As and the OBR for some heavier action. You don't really need the OBR in my opinion. All you need are 2 cards of M84As. You probably could get away with 1 card down with it, but it's kind of on the low end. Alright, let's go over the deployment. Nuclear Winter is coming. Interesting that Not-Ded chose mech for this deck. Mech for this map. He does still have Baltic in Finland, and I personally would have chosen Baltic. But, I don't know what Nande's plan is, really. 0 North Korean decks in this tournament. Alright, let's pause to see the deployment. So Nande is gonna push this 2-pointer here, which, given that he's mech, probably the best choice because he's gonna be way too late for an alpha push. Yeah, just defensively in alpha. So yeah. And Esmusain is gonna counter push by the looks of it. Not just 1 M84A. only Mechani Savannah, so no heavy entertaining infantry. I guess maybe he's not counter pushing, maybe he's just going. Maybe he's just playing it defensively in Alpha, defensively in Foxtrot, and holding Delta, just not pushing himself anywhere, if I had to guess. I think he just doesn't quite know what Nanda is gonna do, so he's gonna try to play it safe. Fire is still in the tournament, yes. He's currently, spoiler alert, currently in the losers bracket. Alright. Very safe drop for Nande, of course, because for Esmusan, because Nande is playing in mech. Liran are gonna lose against Bruce Komitsi because they have their MG turned off. MS-17 landing here as well, but that's what a PGC-80 is amazing again for. With 6 front armor, you can shoot as many rocket pods as you want at this little piece of shit. It's just not gonna die. As long as you did front armor. Nande basically completely won this confrontation here, which isn't too surprising, simply because Nande has a lot more units here, but at the same time the M84A of Esmusan was quite weirdly positioned. That was Esmusan's smoke for his own M84A, basically resulting in the M84A up until now only getting one shot off and basically doing not a whole lot of damage. MTLB Vision's gonna drive here into its death. Seems like Nande either... yeah, he doesn't know this landed here. Either he doesn't know it or he forgot about it. Yeah, I think Esmusan definitely should not have tried to go for this. He should have unloaded the stuff he had into this town. M84A getting sighted on the other M84A. Gets killed, however. Not really a good trade for Nande. If he had paid more attention, or M84A probably could have survived, but at least he didn't lose the second one. M35 should die to the Tor if it's gonna get... Nande, no, Nande, what are you doing? Is he gonna get away with it? I think he's gonna get away with it because of the smoke. Oh, Nande, you lucky bastard. Nande had his M84A in this forest here, and the unit label was blinking. He knew that it wasn't spotted. Okay, I see. Okay, I was gonna say why did he reverse? He was in cover, but the Tor was detracked, so he couldn't move up, so he had to reverse it. I think he still should have waited until he had smoke before moving backwards. Kind of lucky still though that he survived. Buying a CV already, which I find interesting. I think it would have been better if he bought just more infantry, tried to push into the town, because it's a lot easier to lose this in the long run than it is to, you know, lose this, I guess. What I mean is that it's hard to win from Nande's side by capping this, and you know, not having a foothold in Foxtrot or in Alpha. Should be noted that Esmusan is also doing quite a push here. M84A is still not at anything. It's been bought like 2 minutes ago or 3 minutes ago. And unfortunately, this whole push here came to a halt, even though Nande was looking really good. I think the fact that he lost one of his M84As and the other one was just mispositioned meant that he wasn't really able to support his units when he tried to get into the town. It's very unfortunate for him. Lucky for Esmusan. No FOB means though that he needs to get a supply truck for this MI35. Now they're getting back into here. Already buying a C for this side as well. So I guess he wants to get an early lead, but... And I guess he can, obviously. But... like I said, I think if you're playing from Nande's side, you definitely need that early foothold in Foxtrot, or I guess in Delta or Alpha. But I think doing a late game push, trying to get into Delta or Fox or Alpha, is a lot harder from this side, because if you're playing blue and you're holding Fox and Alpha, you know, just defending it, and you get this Delta for free, it's a lot easier for you to just push your opponent out of this little forest here and just get a +1 throughout the game. You know, that's why from Nande's perspective, you definitely want that Foxtrot or Alpha hold early on. Sometimes people like to do a delta push, but it can be a bit annoying. Could work though for Nanda, you never know. Alright, not really a whole lot going on. Esmusain now buying a CV for Foxtrot. Nanda having like 100-ish point lead. Not really a whole lot, but it was already 10 minutes over. I'm not sure what Nanda's plan is here. I think trying to go for Delta push might be the best choice here. With the Mac deck, with the spam that you have, you can assault towns. He doesn't really have any indirect fire support, however. I guess we'll see. Nanda can theoretically just win by, you know, putting a CV into Delta and either having a +1 or just stopping Esmusain's +1 and just hold it out for the rest of the match. But that's just this early on in the game. That's just way you know, it's not very reliable. That's for sure. 3 PGCAs, like I said, Nanda loves these things, and with 6 front armor, they are for 25 points. You know, with 2 HE, can good fire support, and even if they're not killing infantry, they are pretty good at stunning vehicles. Trust me. Alright, let's speed this up a bit until we actually know what's gonna happen, because nothing is happening. Esmusain is still very weak, however, here. So not, yeah, I think, yeah, looks like Nanda is gonna push here, and I think that seems it's gonna work out. He just has to watch out for the M35, but it's only just at 2 HP. I think like I guess another M84A is not needed since there's no tank here anyways, but Nanda is probably just gonna fast move like into this town, gonna get 2 of them killed and then start unloading or something. Let's see what Nanda is gonna do. Tab 21, tab 71. Can kill the... no, not gonna go for it. Oh, smoke here. Not reliable enough. Got the transports killed. Wouldn't really have been able to get in there anyway since there were 2 proletariat squads waiting. SC-27M going for the M84A and yep. Getting it killed. And there's no AA on the field for Esmusain. There's one above 30 here. And that is literally it. I mean, Nanda doesn't really have a lot of helicopters, and it kind of makes sense, but it's still quite dangerous. Because Max still does get Heinz, which Nanda doesn't have, other than the transport Heinz for the FJB. But Mac does get Heinz, and Heinz can do a lot of damage. Like, this is unprototyped. Nanda could have this in his deck. I mean, I guess all the tournament players do know the decks of all of the other players, so this could very well be deliberate, but I still wouldn't have done that. SC-27, I'm still flying around with only 1 missile. No, not going for the gun run here. Galeb didn't get anything off. Tor killed it. He lost above 2 Conquerors M. Okay, well, I guess he had 2 buffs then. And, oh god, Nanda is just gonna fast move those PvPs down the road. Is he not? Oh, he's not. On their own, they're not really that great at killing, but they're also just 25 points. Alright, CV is gonna survive here, but Nanda does have his foothold. And I don't think Esmusain can really effectively counter-push on this side. Potentially in mid, because there's no ATGM here that's gonna stop the M84A, but there's the M84A here, and another one coming for mid, so I don't think Esmusain can do a good counter-push down here. M35 died here as well. Nanda going all in here. Could fire back. We saw this earlier when he tried to go for the sound where he lost everything to, or nearly everything to, not a whole lot of units. So I'm not sure if this aggression is warranted, because usually when you're pushing Foxtrot, what usually is very, very cost intensive to completely push through. Usually you don't really push much further beyond that unless you are so much ahead in terms of kills that you know, like actually do know that the enemy doesn't really have a whole lot of fear. Which maybe that's the case in here, but I don't think, yeah. Like nearly all of the infantry is dead. And yeah, that was not a good choice. That's why I would never really push much further than beyond here. Because there's so much ground to cover that it's gonna take you a whole lot of time until you actually went through this forest and know there's nothing gonna come from the side or the rear to kill you. Yeah. Not-Ded, yep. That's what I'm talking about. Not-Ded definitely should not have pushed that far up. I mean, it did give him a good amount of conquest points and stopped Asmus instantly, but now look at what Not-Ded has left. What he should have done is cut his infantry in here, the BVPs beyond with the M84A, and just play defensively. Buy Conquers M, whatever. Now all he has left is the Proletariat Squad, the Tor, and these two 1 HP Proletariat 90s. Meanwhile, M84A here got killed. M84AN also died. Actually, both of the M84As here died. You will see that Not-Ded probably bought for this, got moved to Charlie into safety. Never mind, these M84As didn't get killed, they probably just moved up down here because Not-Ded wants to push Alpha. Never mind, holy shit. Not-Ded, what are you doing? I guess Not-Ded decided to do that once he realized that he got completely pushed out of here. One of the M84As is gonna run out of fuel, so he should put them together and split them up again. Oh, you want a deck on screen? I can give you a deck on screen. How about this? Or how about this? Ooh. Alright, enough of that bullshit. Not a whole lot of shit stopping Nanda here. He can actually just move down those M84As because there's nothing with high AT in here. Unload these already, Nanda. Unload them! Thank you. 27M circling, but there's not really much to kill other than the L18, which... Oh, Nanda wasn't paying attention and lost his 27M. That is unfortunate. He didn't really get a whole lot of value out of that 27M. He killed an M84AN earlier. I don't know if he killed much else. Gallup coming in. I mean... Oh, he killed a CV, I guess. But I think... I don't know. I don't know if it would have been better to kill an M84A because there's still 2 more M84As. But at the same time, killing the CV doesn't really stop him from completely losing Alpha either. So... I don't know. I think it's damned if we do, damned if we don't. Probably would have been better if he just hadn't bought the Galbite anyways. Other than, on the other hand, however, there's not a whole lot of time left. So Nanda has to do something. Asmussen would have probably had to do something quickly, and that's what he did. But as you saw, it doesn't stop him from losing. So it is looking pretty bad here. The Vihor down there died too. And he surrendered. Putin. Alright, that was such a Nanda game, honestly. Like, pushing on the right at the start, fucking up the push, ignoring the side, doing some weird skirmishes on the other side, then suddenly pushing there again, being way too aggressive as in typical Nanda style, and losing a lot of your points. But once you realize it happened, just push on the other side of the map and completely roll through over and fast move down the road. That was a textbook Nanda game. That was a good one. Alright, that means Nanda is in the next round. Alright. Ghostie wanted me to cast his games. Mr. Ghostie versus Firestarter. Alright. Let's cast these games. Or go over them. Game 1. I hate paid. What are these replays called? Right, game 1. What is Firestarter's deck? Let's see. Oh, it's not Eurocore, so I can't put a Eurocore stack on screen. It's Finpol. Not Fire 1 2, it's Fire 1. And what is Mr. Ghostie's deck? Oh, it's Eurocore. Oh, let's hope it's a better Eurocore deck than Firestarter's. Would you invite Ghostie to co-host? I don't think I would, because I'm too scared that Ghostie would spout some racist slurs. One second. Okay. Okay. Cool. I'm inviting Fire. I think Fire. I don't want to invite someone because I'm coughing all the time, anyways, and I don't want to do an unprepared two-man cast. Maybe next time. Maybe I can get balance to help me next time. I don't want to do this like out of the blue. Firestarter sec. For once, it doesn't look all too bad, although he's very heavy on the tank department. Very standard plane tab. I think it's my plane tab as well. Although I think, now that I think about it, I think one seat plane is enough. Whatever. Standard helicopter tab. I don't like either of those vehicles. The Strom is a good choice of a vehicle if you want. But balance and fire. Hang on. I might. Okay, maybe we can get balance. I don't think fire has time. And balance isn't online. I don't want fire to cast his own game as well. I'll try to get balanced next time though. Back to the stack. A fairly kind of standard deck, but this is why is he using basically like you get sure you get 4 more per card. You get 18 year carry 90 and 22 year carry, but for the same price you carry 90 are just so much fucking better that you and then like Baltic isn't a deck to run out of infantry. Like I just don't get it, Firestarter. Why are you doing this to me? Yes, he doesn't have a Helo Hunter, so you might want to use the Biz instead of a seed plane, you know, if you're not someone who likes seed planes, or just get a 5th plane card by, for example, not having 5 fucking tanks in your deck. He does have the Sokol though, and only 1 card of Erikois. And what is this? When do you need so many fucking heavy tanks, dude? He has a super heavy, a near super, like a heavy, 2 cards of 120 point tanks, and an 85 point tank, and he has T55. Like how many? Hog is, I guess, yeah, Hog can kill healers, but it's not very efficient and not very consistent. How you're never gonna need that many tanks? Maybe it's a 10 deck. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say that my Baltic deck is the best deck whatsoever, but I think my Baltic deck is a lot more reasonable. I have 3 cards of tanks. The territory is basically a fire support, and then a T55 here. He has 5 cards of tanks. You know, this doesn't really count as a normal main battle tank, right? This is more than enough. Firestarter, in typical Firestarter fashion, probably built his Baltic deck on the day that it came out and never changed it again. Like, that's probably what happened. Okay, and then let's take a look at Ghostie's deck. Much more reasonable deck. Cessa, Fop, Leech 9 in the VAB and not a T20. Okay. That's an interesting Eurocard deck. Afal. Milan also uses it in his 1v1 deck. It's a very interesting Eurocard deck, honestly. And with interesting, I mean, it's certainly not a Firestarter type of deck. where I would say, what are you doing? It's just like actually interesting. I'm not trying to sound like, I'm not using interesting as a synonym to stupid or bad. I actually mean interesting. I think you can done with the tiger since you're running a farm. Like I said, I would definitely use the VAP T20 on the Legion 90. As I've recently, 1 month ago I wouldn't have said that, but nowadays I probably use one chasseur in the MXNP, either the base or the 85 ones. MXNP is pretty decent. What's so interesting about it? I don't know, the fact that you don't have an AMX 13, you're upvetting your AMX 10. You're only running 4 cards of Recon, period, which I found weird. Legion 90 in the VAB instead of the VAB T20, I found also a bit weird. Cesar, personally, I would use the LRM if you're using a artillery in heavy artillery in 1 versus 1. Yeah. Also no 2A4, so nothing between 2A or Leclerc and 2A1. Not that big of a deal though, I'd imagine though. But it's five less points matters in something like when you're spamming. Legion 90 you're not gonna spam, and 35 versus 40 points isn't a huge deal. Not only isn't this a huge deal, but not only is like paying 5 extra points not a huge deal, but the VAB T20 is just pretty good. Why to have 5 4 if you have 2 cards of supers? Well, because it's cheaper. But it's not really my main issue here. Well, I don't really have a main issue. It's just some small things here and there that I find that I wouldn't do, but that I also can't really say are bad, except for the VAB T20. It's a little thing that I say you should definitely do. You should definitely use the VAB T20 on the Legion 90, in my opinion. Other than that, it's just things that I find that I personally wouldn't do. And like I said, as I've recently experimented with it, I think the AMX10P on Chasseur or Chasseur 85, both rework, is a good combination. It's not nearly as self-sufficient and strong as the KAFV spam, but it's okay. And gives your core some fire support at least. Anyways. I know how the games are gonna end. Yeah, let's hang on. What's the first map? Because the replay name is long. The first one is the Highway to Soul match. Also, for anyone curious, the replay file is called First Best Player versus First Best Rapper, Round 1, The Flow of Battle. Jesus, what is it? What is it name? Alright. Probably gonna be a full 40-minute game. Firestarter, Baltic Front, Mr. Ghostie, Eurocore. One of the best, probably the best map for Eurocore if I had to guess. Punchbowl is also pretty good, I'd say. But I think this is probably the best map, because Punchbowl is, even for Eurocore, in a way too wide, I'd say, maybe. But this is just a perfect map that isn't really too wide, but also isn't really forest heavy, so like something like Plunging Valley Mid, where you're kind of screwed as your core. It's probably the best map for this. Alright, so let's take a look at this opener. Firestarter, as in typical Firestarter fashion, doesn't like roads and starts off-road, meaning that his things are gonna arrive like 10 seconds later than it would be otherwise. Also, typical Firestarter fashion, he isn't really gonna push, he's gonna like go half there and half there, so not really one-sided. I think for this we're gonna wait until we actually see what's gonna drive where. So Ghostie is gonna push mid. No aim extend on this road, meaning that a KT could have fucked up those roll-ins if he got unlucky, I think. But it would also mean that Firestarter would actually be a competent player and start with the KT on the road. Also surprised that he takes the roll-in 3 on the wheel transfer. They die very quickly. And for wheeled AA you already have the Crotale. So I prefer the tracked ones, but it's just personal preference. Okay, so Firestarter is actually gonna push here. Idle 90, not a lot of infantry. actually, he doesn't really start with a lot of infantry, period. No BTR 50 spam with the carry, okay. Alright, let's take a look here. Firestarter, Ghostie on the other hand, gonna push Delta. Crotals don't have enough ammo. Well, yeah, but Rodents have to shoot after have to reload after 2 missiles. Crotals don't. So if you're trying to kill a rocket pod helo, then the Crotal is gonna be your better choice. It can last the whole game versus against helos and planes. I guess, yeah, it makes sense, but they also don't really have the range. Spike here should be able to do quite a lot of work throughout the game. Firestarter is probably gonna get completely fucked here too. As soon as the work dies, which is probably gonna happen here, Ghostie can just run through with his chasseur and the Marder 2 behind. Yeah, the spike here is gonna do quite a lot of work, or gonna slow down Ghostie a lot, I'd imagine. Right. Nothing here really gonna slow down Ghostie. Surprised to not see him move any of the AMX-10s into this forest here. Which possibly could have at least killed some KTs already. Eriko's here got down to 3 HP by the AMX-10. No, by something else than I'd imagine. Ghostie realizing that, you know, Firestarter is gonna push here, so he's gonna just push up everything he has here. The spikes are turned off. Okay. Probably would have been better if he hadn't turned them off, because then they would have been able to get some shots off before they died. Now they only got 1 shot off before they died. And Kubrick is still sitting here. Probably would have been best if he moved it up down into this area here. Here it's very easy to just kill because there's not a lot of cover to fall back to, but here he can actually like break line of sight very quickly. T-55 can potentially get some nice side shots here, but they're gonna get spotted by the commander's power as soon as it's gonna shoot. KT with Eriko's on a flank. Tiger in base. I guess at some point he bought it, fired some rounds, and went back to the base to refill, which I completely missed in typical Rasman fashion. MX-10 versus T-55. T-55 missing 2 shots, MX-10 I think hitting twice, if I saw it correctly. That is very unfortunate for Firestarter. Word of warning, I was not microing super so well this game. XD. I guess we will see. Leclerc for everyone watching. What am I talking? Of course you're watching. Jesus Christ, I'm retarded. Leclerc with 7 side armor. The spikes with 21 AP have just enough AP to one-shot a Leclerc to the side. So, you know, maybe that's exactly what we're gonna see. Jesus. I swear I wasn't watching this game before, or nobody told me of this, but as soon as Ghostie said word of warning, I wasn't microing super so well. I saw this coming from a mile away. Oh, Sokol here. Gonna help the T-55 to deal with those MX-10s up close. I feel bad for Ghostie though, because I lost so many tanks to these kind of side shots before. But Ghostie completely lost Echo as well. That's a great spike here, doing nothing back there, Firestarter. AT still driving down. Tiger still doing nothing in base. That's why you shift your. That's why you move your supply, your helicopters when you move them to the farm. But this basically completely stopped Ghostie's push here. Now Firestarter has 2 mods, and M2 Wilk. That should completely stop Ghostie if he wanted to push, but with virtually no infantry, Firestarter can't push either, so until, you know, Ghostie moves up his Leclerc or Firestarter actually gets some infantry, I don't think anyone's really gonna push here. Except for the mod, who's gonna push into his death. Oh, Firestarter. Firestarter! No! Ah! Oh god. What is this game? That is some top tier tank micro with both of these players. Those are some major generals, my guys. Those are some major generals. Oh god. Well, I guess never mind. Ghostie doesn't need tanks to push up. M2 Wilk just sitting in the front with the mod and behind, so the Leclerc could just pick it off. Actually, the Wilk got the shot off on the Leclerc when the Leclerc missed on the Wilk, so I guess it's lucky. What happened, you asked? Well, okay, let me just pause this because that's actually worth pausing. So, Firestarter, you know, basically same position as here. Just imagine there was no Leclerc. These two, this Legion squad had 9 Erics and was on 2 HP. Firestarter, having no recon here and no infantry, decided to have the mod that he had sitting in here to push it up into. Where is it? Where is it? Is this the mod? This is the mod. To push it into here. So what happens is Legion 90 aim and shoot their Erics. No reaction. Aim and shoot their Erics. Hit the second time. Still no reaction. Aim and shoot. Well, kept aiming and shot a third Erics. Still no reaction. The mod, by the way, not being able to spot those Legion 90s. Still no reaction from Firestarter. Mod is now on 1 HP. Legion 90 reload and shoot a fourth Erics, hitting for a 4th consecutive time and killing the mod. Yeah, that's what happened. Leclerc versus mod. Well, Wilk kills the Wilk. Mod, I think the mod just missed twice in a row. The 3 damage was dealt by the M2 Wilk, I'm pretty sure. So that's unfortunate for Firestarter because I'm pretty sure the mod was stationary, so not even using his terrible stabilizer. But yeah, not having any infantry to support his tanks means that with the help of the Leclerc, the infantry just moved up without any contention, really. That's bad news for Firestarter, and he also just lost his only AA that he had in this area. Now let me quickly see. Okay, Eriko is finally moving up in here after nearly 15 minutes. Definitely worth the 50 points. Oh, MX-10 RC with those 16 AP is definitely a danger to the T-55. Yep, and actually this one finishes it off. Yeah, that T-55, you know, unless it's like in cover and the MX-10s can't spot it, not the best versus, not at least these MX-10s. Again, now they should be able to do much because there's no recon nearby, but the T-55 doesn't line of sight anyways. Wait, he bought a CV while losing mid? Yeah, oh yeah, Firestarter bought a CV! Thanks for reminding me. Let's just clap. A round of applause for Firestarter for doing the great Firestarter move. Losing the game and buying a CV. Good job, Firestarter. I'm proud of you. Alright. Again, oh, final computer reset. That's very unfortunate for Firestarter. I mean, you might say that Firestarter is getting unlucky, but he's also just played very badly. I mean, in all fairness, he still has this, but the problem is he's not really enforcing it, and I think in the long run, he's gonna lose this. Because his units are also split, so the T-55 can't really support the infantry in here when Ghostie is pushing up there. Likewise, the infantry here can't support the T-55 when Ghostie is pushing down there. Rasman was punching his belly. No, I was not. And that's very hard to push down to. That is gonna be very bad, or very awkward for Firestarter. He was beating his meat. Fuck, you got me. Oh, very nice hog though. Leclerc should definitely move up and support against the mod. Ghostie with his own 2 CVs, now getting a +1. $55 got down to 1 HP, I'm pretty sure by those aim extends if I had to guess. Oh, Tiger is not in base anymore. Did the Tiger get killed? No, I did not. I never saw the Tiger in game, then I saw it in the base, and now I look for it, and now it's dead again. Jesus. Probably killed by some Ericos somewhere, if I had to guess. Ericos in the base, though, still haven't done anything. MXN just shooting there, while the Panzer Ikari are sitting there not doing anything against it. It's also a great move by Firestarter. Pave getting caught out by the Leclerc. Oh, Leclerc was missing, but the MX-10 got a side shot, getting it down to 4 HP. Hawk 51 coming in, not doing anything, and getting killed by the Rolands. Tiger got killed by the Iron in Golf. Why am I always missing this type of shit? Thank you for telling me. Yeah, like I said, Ghostie is gonna push up here eventually. And I think as soon as the T-55 is gonna show itself, the MX-10 will probably also move up and finish it off. Firestarter has no supplies here. Also, it's a 40-minute game, probably because if you surrender, the opponent automatically gets 500 conquest points for the tournament, so that's probably why. What did Firestarter do to deserve this harshness? What do you mean? It's Firestarter, he doesn't need to do anything, he always deserves this. It's obviously just a meme, you know? Well, not just, partially meme. It's just the way Firestarter is. Here's an action in spawn. Oh, well the Ericos got killed by the AMX-10. I guess the Ericos killed the Cassiope. This is about M110s. I mean, I don't know what deck Firestarter is gonna play in the second match, so if Firestarter is gonna play something else in the other games, maybe some Eurocore, maybe then I'll get revenge about the M110s. There's still some CC here that could potentially kill the P4 CV. Also, Firestarter got back in here, and Ghostie has, well, up until now, nearly nothing. He had the spikes again, 7 front armor on the Marder 2 spikes, just enough HP to one-shot the Marder 2. So Firestarter definitely has... It's actually in a pretty good position to pushing Firestarter out of Echo. So is he moving up? Tiger. Sergei more too far behind. And also doesn't really have the same range as the Tiger on the missiles. And Tiger just picked off the T-55 for free, so that's bad. Sissy are gonna kill the CV. So that's gonna give Firestarter some break. For one, it's gonna stop the spawn for a while. 2, it stops Ghostie will have to micro units into this area until he killed the Sissy. Or he thinks he killed the Sissy. 3, he needs points for a new CV and potentially points to kill whatever is here. He doesn't need to spend anything on the Sissy extra because he already had the Tiger. But he still needs to buy a new CV, and it costs time and micro, of course. Unfortunately, Ghostie found the Sissy very quickly. So, didn't really get too much time when it comes to micro. Pave down to 3 HP, and I'm sorry, but I missed the Declare getting killed, presumably by the Pave, considering its veterancy. I'm sorry for that. Firestarter spotting the P4 CV. He doesn't have any heavy artillery in his deck, so he could try to mortar it, but his mortar is out of ammo. Firestarter getting back into here though. Ghostie didn't really have a whole lot of infantry in here. And his Leclerc was really mostly what kept him in here, and now that Leclerc is dead, Firestarter is actually in a pretty good position, and the Milan 3 just side shots the Pave. That is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. That's not what you want to see at all. But with the T55 dead and the spikes dead, and well, they were out of supply anyways, MX10 and VAB T20 behind, Ghostie can get back into position here. AT is dead now here as well. Ghostie pushing now into Jolly, and there's not really a whole lot of units stopping Ghostie here in Jolly. There's a T55 here which is finally getting resupplied. He should definitely also turn on fuel. But as soon as he kills the KT here, he can just attack move down with the AMX-10s and they're gonna kill the gas. Hell, the first thing that can actually stop him here, unless the T55 gets very lucky, is gonna be a Wilk, and until the Wilk arrives there, it's gonna take ages. Another 205 being bought. Interesting, didn't Ghostie should have a third Leclerc available, or did they kill, or did I miss that one getting killed as well? Buying a CV already? Well, I guess it's because Firestarter is ticking. Oh right, he doesn't have a CV in Delta anymore, of course. I was wondering because it's way too unsafe for Echo, but obviously there's no CV in Delta anymore. New Tiger, second Tiger. I-290 dies here. The reinforcements get caught off. A T55 has to retreat. CV gets killed. Tiger is gonna probably deal with the T55 if those Panzergrants are not. And probably also with the Wilk, because there's no AA here. 2 KTs coming up. Ooh. Tiger is 4 Stingers, so in theory it can deal with both of them. Clown game? Clown game? Oh boy. Firestarter is not happy. And I guess he got... no, he did not get scared away by the Tiger. Lever 2 CV by Ghostie. Is it for Charlie? Yeah, it is. The infantry CV is now moving into Delta. Echo now completely empty of Ghostie's units. But this Tiger, oh, this Tiger. Hit with all 4 Stingers. That's kind of unlucky. That is kind of unlucky. Did not kill the Wilk at least, so there's that. But that's why you have 2 cards of Eriko's Raya Yakari, because they're so fucking versatile, they're gonna kill fucking Tigers. But no, let's take only 1 card of them in our deck, because why would I take 2 cards of them? It's not like they're fucking amazing. God, Firestarter, what are you doing? Anyways. If Firestarter had something like a Jurgen here, Ghostie could be in a very bad position, because he's now basically caught into this little forest, but Firestarter doesn't really have the units to effectively assault that very well, I guess. What he would have to do is probably like attack from 2 sides, because Ghostie has only 1 tank here. But with Legion 90 as well, Panther behind, a Leclerc coming up as well, I think Ghostie is gonna have not a huge issue, no huge issues trying to hold this. It's gonna be very dangerous for his 2F5 though against the mod and the pave. Both of which are 9 RPM auto-loaded. Oh my god, I literally just read the comment. I predict Firestarter buying CV next. What is this? Yeah, I mean, he kind of has to. There's only 5 minutes left and Ghostie is still taking while also being ahead. So I don't really blame him in this scenario. Still, it's pretty funny though that you literally just wrote that. Yeah, Firestarter has to push, but there's just not enough time. And even if he had enough time, he's looking alright in mid, but not very good on this side. And yeah, like in the long run, I think it would still be a +1 for Ghostie, because I think in the long run he would be able to hold on to this, while probably not losing this anytime soon. Ghostie hasn't bought his Desire yet, and the Tiger is again sitting that far back. Also, the fob sorry for pausing, apparently got captured by Firestarter at some point, which is why it's damaged, because these two MX-10s earlier most likely just shot at it. And yeah, it's just Sir. Oh, there's a lot of infantry. 2A5 is down to 1 HP, the other one is coming up. Oh, is he actually gonna... Oh, he moved up with the 2A5 probably to break line of sight, if I had to guess. Maybe. Or maybe not. He's actually... I guess Ghostie doesn't care anymore with 3.5 minutes left, so he's just like... Let's move up my 1 HP 2A5. And kill the mod! I mean, it does get killed by the Yakari, but honestly it was worth it. Pave kills the Leclerc though. But there's a new 2A5. MX-10's coming up. If those were Web T20s, those would be amazing against little BTR-50s. Or shooting at panic Yakaris that are not gonna hit with their law anyways. Just saying. 2A5 nearly getting sideshot by those Panzeri. Yakari. MX-10s. No. I was gonna say if they drive down there, they should be able to deal with the pave. CV got moved in here, but the MX-10 out of ammo. Oh, the Yakari here nearly getting to the command CV in there. To the command infantry. Either 90 killing the Tiger. Again, I think at this point, Ghostie just doesn't care and just wants to slow Firestarter down. And, actually, now that I think about it, in the long run, maybe Firestarter would win. Because he's so close to the spawn, like, if the game went on 10 more minutes, he probably would be able to just get into the spawn. But it looks like Ghostie's not even buying any units anymore. Neither is Firestarter. Firestarter actually surrendered. Come on, Firestarter, just play these last 55 seconds out. Because now, if it ends up being a tie in the second game, and a win for you in the third game, this game counts as Ghostie having 500 conquest points. God damn it, Firestarter. God damn it, what are you doing? What are you doing? Next match. Okay. We have Ghostie with what looks like Dutch-German coalition. And Firestarter is in Eurocore. Is it Eurocore? No, it's not Eurocore. It's Yugoslavia. I'm not Sardic. I wouldn't count it as 500. Where is it? It doesn't matter. Like, it's not you. It would be 500 in the eyes of me, who's the organizer. All right. Firestarter's Yugoslavia deck. Firestarter, one of those. I shouldn't say one of those people. It's probably the only one who's actually playing Yugoslavia over Entente outside of like role playing or fun purposes. Yeah. Nothing too outstanding, really. I think for once I don't really have anything negative to say. Except, excuse me? Who? Yeah. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? What is? Huh? Firestarter? Do you know what ASFs are? Hello? And hey, let's who needs ASFs? Let's take this shitty, slow ass, low ECM, low payload bomber instead. Who needs ASFs to kill planes anyways, right? I mean, if you're gonna take another ground attack plane, at least take the Orao too. Or take the cluster plane. Because cluster planes can be useful. And like, or at the very least take out this shitty Gamma, because you already have this one, which is just better, and this one is just useless. And take out the Jackson, you know? Or okay, that's not enough points, I'm sorry. Let's put this back in. Take out the shitty ass Gamma. And take out, I don't know. Wait, hang on. Why does he have so little points? I don't take out. Or just put in fucking 5 playing cards, okay? Just. Firestarter. What is you doing? What is you doing? Shitty T55 CV. Like I said with Nande before, I don't think it's a good idea. But hey, at least this one has fucking medium optics, okay? No, it's the wrong one. Here. This one has bad optics for some reason. It's probably the one time the DLC isn't overpowered. Anyways, yeah, Ghostie's deck. Nothing really out of the ordinary. This time he takes 3 tigers instead of 2. Takes the MLU. Personally, I prefer to take the block because KWS is so good that you needing another ASF is unlikely. So with the block, I kind of have both still a backup ASF as well as a very heavy anti-tank plane. But that's... Or take the F104G, so we have a cheap anti-helo plane. Since Dutch German usually isn't the best when it comes to like dealing with a lot of helicopters or helicopters around flanks. Because of Roland's isn't really that out of the ordinary, no. Like, what else would you use? You already have 4 peace lines, yeah, but then you could just use them on elite. And peace lines, like, you know, as like a block 52, a block 15 OCU up front can deal with the super heavy peace lines. A peace line cannot. Also, personally, if you have the Gepard A2, I think I'd probably just use the base Gepard as a second Gepard, just to have like the cheapest version for like flanks or base. Because if you're already like, if you're buying a 55 points Gepard, you might as well buy the A2 for 10 extra points, right? And then having it cheaper instead of the 55 makes it more affordable to just buy for base, but that's whatever. Like, nothing really crazy in this deck. No stab, no stab. Like I said, this is like for base and flanks. You don't need stabs. If you want stabs, just buy the A2 then. It's 10 extra points and you also get fucking stingers and you actually get good stabilizers. Right, Paddy Field. Okay. Ghostie on what I would consider the good side. Lars 2 is pretty good. It's not pretty good, it's alright. I don't really think it's that great. You only get 1 card of A2? Yeah, but you get like 4 of them. That's enough, dude. Just don't use them. And just don't lose them. You're also just using Rolands all the time anyways, right? So you don't really even need that many Gepards. Right, I forgot about that deployment. So, Firestarter pushing here. Probably what I would do as well. It's, in my opinion, the best push. Because it also protects against a possible push down here. I don't think pushing Bravo, unless you're playing mech, I don't think pushing Bravo is a good idea. I guess like if the opponent is playing like a very bad infantry deck, like a Eurocore or something, I guess is probably the worst you could kind of go up against. Then it kind of works if you're playing something like Baltic. Other than that, I wouldn't really push down here unless you're mech. And yeah, okay, yeah, Ghost is pushing here with no infantry whatsoever. That's weird. I mean, he has the KCTs, but other than that, no infantry to support his 2A5, which I don't like as much. Also, just driving up with Corps Mariniers up here. Probably just simply to be annoying and delay Firestarter. And force him to spend more points here than he would like to. On the other hand, and at the same time, probably if this went wrong with the Corps Mariniers, what Ghostie probably would have done is he would have just kept this squad down here as defenses and like losing that one squad while annoying wouldn't have been the end of the world. And now that he's able to get in here, he's probably just moving up to be even more annoying to Firestarter while he's actually pushing here. And thus either forcing Firestarter to move micro and points on the left side, or potentially losing very valuable positions on the left side. So worked out for Ghostie thus far pretty well. And those Corpse Mariniers should have no issue with it versus the Padobrante. Tiger here got spotted, and yeah, it's a Sava for you. But at the same time, Firestarter, just being Firestarter, it thinks a single M84AN is gonna be enough versus something like a 2A5 here. So yeah, and no Padobrante here either to actually help him. But lucky for him, the 2A5 can't really do all too much. Honestly, if Ghostie Firestarter could just smoke this off and just move up, because what's Ghostie gonna do? He's not gonna drive into the smoke. Oh, Padobrante, are they gonna survive with 1 HP? They keep fire. Okay, they are. Still no infantry. Now there's infantry coming in. Honestly, this. If it wasn't for Firestarter, just. Firestarter, what are you doing? Why? Hello? Yes, let's just move our foothold. Excuse me? Firestarter? You just saw a 2A5 on the right side, you killed a tiger on the right side, and you just move your units away from the right to the left because of like 2 squads that were there? Basically giving up the position for free? Ugh. Yeah, Ghostie was right. Ghostie, I take everything back. Why buy infantry? You don't need it. You don't fucking need it anyways. I'm sorry that I doubted you, Ghostie. Oh my god. The only thing that's missing is Firestarter buying a CV now. I mean, in all fairness, Firestarter isn't really behind right now, but at the same time, I'm gonna say that this foothold won't last for long. Either it's not gonna last, and if it lasts for long, then he's gonna end up losing golf completely. And if once he loses golf, he's gonna lose this, or he's potentially gonna lose total. But you see it very rarely. Oh god, Firestarter. M91A, okay. I'm not really sure why. Unless he's moving it down to this side now. Because, like, he didn't really see a tank here. M84, like 2 M84As in this forest here would probably just be significantly better. Ghost Mariners 90 are gonna get pushed out here fairly efficiently without too many losses, so that's good for Firestarter. Ghostie buying a CV first. Is this foreshadowing that Firestarter is actually gonna win the game this time around? Ghostie buying the CV first? Firestarter? Not? Like, I guess it's because Firestarter is actually not in a losing position, so probably that's why he isn't buying the CV just yet. He's gonna wait until he's like pushed completely out of Bravo again, and then he's gonna buy it. Yeah, not really much happening. 2F5 being moved over. I'm not sure. Maybe what he should do is move the 2F5 into this forest. What he could do now is just see if he can take or get into this town. Honestly. And if the 2F5 was still here, or if the 2F5 is there, the 2F5 should be able to like deal with tanks that would stop his infantry. So just smoke off this behind it, behind the buildings, move up your infantry, and then, you know, if you see spot infantry flying back at you, you shoot with your fire support, with your Marder 2 and your little 5-pointers, and the tanks can't kill your shit because of the smoke, and then you get into the town when you have the town, and then it's gonna be really tough for Firestarter to get back into Gulf. Also, I'm sorry I paused the game again, also Firestarter is buying a CV. Vihor getting shot by Milan 2. Oh, Firestarter actually notices it. Leopard 201 killing a Granichari that were trying to sneak around. Probably spotted by those Leopard Vercanning. Oh, M84 just getting dunked on by those Panzergrens. That's why you want the tank probably right in this area and less in this, because this is, as you saw, enough for Panzergrens to shoot you. This, unless there's smoke, which there kind of is now, should be far enough away, unless they are Legion 90, but since he's playing Dutch German, he doesn't have access to Legion 90. 2A5. Also, did you just see that the BGS, they were still in the forest. They were still in the forest, but they got spotted by the Granichari. Do you know why? Because BGS have only good stealth. BGS and Granzer, the East German counterpart, have only good stealth. Every other infantry, recon infantry that isn't a 2-man cyber squad, have very good. And this is a very noticeable difference. This is why I prefer regular line infantry recon over BGS. They are dirt cheap. They're certainly not a bad buy, because you have so many of them and 15 points in a truck, you know, that's fucking cheap. Still, I prefer the regular ones because of the very good stealth instead of the good stealth. Yeah, like I said, Paladins in just enough range for them, but not for like Panzergrens 90. This is why the tank would have been better in this area. Super Gallop, was it the... Yep, Recon Leopard. Lars still would be really nice for Bravo now. True. True. Or really any kind of fire support. Ghostie is really lacking fire support. As I said, as he's buying some water kind of vehicles. Ghostie definitely should use... He should, yeah, like I said, he should move the 2F5 to this area, then the Vihor can't sideshot you, and then push up into this town. For one, this is gonna give you good positioning, which is always good in the long and short run. Two, it's again gonna force Firestarter to do something on the side of the map. Gallop killing a 2A1, 2A1, 16 front armor. Gallop needs to connect with only one shot to kill a 2A1 up front. I think it connected with both, so it didn't matter, but it's worth noting. That's why I don't like the 2A1 very much. It has bad AP and armor distribution for its points. Like the M84A for less points not only is faster and has an autoloader and 4HE, etc., etc., but you also get one more AP and one less armor. The AP is useful. Losing the one extra armor doesn't really matter in most scenarios. And we're basically in a small little break again. Firestarter probably doesn't really want to engage too much longer anyways, because because he doesn't really have any tanks around, and Ghostie doesn't have any infantry for his tanks to support. Definitely shouldn't have just pushed up here. Either it was Miss Micro or he was just too aggressive. What you should have done is waited for the other units, gather here and then attack again, and not just send these in on its own. But like I said, might have just been him mismicroing it or forgetting about them still having the order to fast move down the road. Yeah, they're now in the town. Ah, now they're moving up. Not the best choice since they're panicked and shaken, but we'll see how it goes. 2A1's moving very far back, scared by the gallop. 2A5. Ooh, nearly. That Milan 2 is really annoying for the Firestarter. The 2A5 should move into this area, then it can't get shotted by the Vihor. Or, I guess, you know, the viewer is just in smoke anyways. Oh, the 2A5 missed the second shot. Oh, wow. That was unfortunate. Firestarter trying to get a shot off onto the 2A5, potential side shot. But getting just in range for the Milan 2, and it was like caught between a rock and a hard place. Either getting side shot by the 2A5 or the Milan 2. Probably chose right in trying to like driving backwards and gambled that either the Milan 2 is gonna miss or lose line of sight. Neither happened, and he got sideshot by the Milan. Unfortunate, but also just bad play by Firestarter. He knew the Milan was there for quite a long time, so he could have either smoked it off or whatnot, and he chose not to. Never gamble on the enemy HGM not hitting unless you have no other choice or something. Should move back dots trip and squad at some 1 HP too late. Yeah, there are two arrows being bought, probably just to get line of sight on those tanks. Roland hitting with one of the missiles onto the gallop. 2-1, still on pretty good HP. Now, finally, an M84A. I think it was down up here earlier and he just moved it into this area. But the Bronzy 90 getting a good hit on the Leopard and M84A finishing it off. Okay, M84A is getting out because 2-1 would probably get the second shot off first, despite the autoloader, just simply because the M84A just shot at the other one. Ghostie getting a foothold here though, but I mean it's not really the best one because there's still a lot of infantry for Firestarter, and Firestarter doing a very good job at keeping the infantry alive and resupplying it. That's what you don't see a lot of times, people. And sometimes I also do that, and in the past I definitely used to do that more often, but people often don't really resupply the infantry very often, but it can definitely be worth it. And it definitely is worth it if you manage to do that. Obviously, it's not always the possibility, but in general. Ghostie finally deciding to move up here onto the stationary position that's been like this for like 15 minutes now, nearly. And realizing, hey, there's not really a whole lot in there, so let's move up with our Corps Mariniers. But now there's an M84A here. Still gonna get in there because the town is gonna block line of sight for the M84A and the other fire support. 2-5 moving up as well. No smoke coming out. There's the smoke, okay. And the KWS. Pinscour in the back, can't really do much though. Firestarter pings the Iltis, but you know, he doesn't really have any artillery to do that. Oh, Proletariat getting caught out in the open by Corps Mariniers. Oh, they're so dead. Keeping the ping up. I guess, like, probably. Oh, watch out for that. No. What? Okay, for a second I thought he was trying to go for the Iltis, but he doesn't really have line of sight. He's gonna buy a bomber. I mean, yeah. No, he's buying the L-15M. That's not the one I shat on, because it's actually a good plane. A very good plane. I really like that plane, even though I don't really have it in my own Taunt deck. But it is a very good plane. He briefly had line of sight on the 2A5, I suppose. And lost it, and got his Gallop killed, and his Scout killed. L-15M managing to kill this V, so that's nice. Without losing the L-15M. But he's still in a very, I guess, pretty bad position. He still has his foothold here, but I'm not sure if this is gonna last too long, personally. It's not too hard to push him back out of there and put a CV in here. Especially with a foothold here, Firestarter can't reinforce from that road anymore. That was just, well, why are you doing this, Firestarter? You don't even have infantry to push up with. Yeah, with only this reinforcement route and this thing for slope edge, I think in the long run shouldn't really be too tough for Ghostie to get back into this. So I guess what's gonna happen now is Ghostie is gonna prepare a push here, and Firestarter is gonna prepare a push here. I think, I'm not sure, I wouldn't gonna predict who's gonna win this, like these pushes, but I would say that Firestarter, Ghostie has the easier time here, I'd say. Then again, Ghostie doesn't really have a whole lot in the town, so what he could do similarly to what I suggested for Ghostie earlier, is smoke this area off and just walk in through here, where only the infantry can really shoot, and the 2A5 can't really do much unless he's just moving up through the smoke. Tiger as well, there's a Sava, which is very, very good versus a Tiger, of course. And the M84AN means that he can spot it very easily. Granchari shouldn't move out in the open. Peace Rhine? Peace Rhine, yes. Ghostie, Firestarter is in a town. M84 got hit once and killed by the Tiger. That's unfortunate. And there's still an easy judge here, but yeah, Firestarter not spotting the Tiger. It's spotting it when it fires, but easy judge might. Hang on, is the Tiger landed? No, it's not. He's running again. Hey, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool to have an ASF in your deck now? A proper ASF? So Firestarter kind of got back in here, but not really. And now Ghostie is doing his push, and he's just overwhelming him with all kinds of fucking vehicles. Holy fucking shit. Martyrs, AIM-Axes, YPRs, Stormtrooper, Grenadiers, Crossrunners, KCTs, 2A1, 2A5, Gepard A2. Like, Pentagrams, like everything. Like, literally everything. 2A5 got killed by the M84As though. No, it did not. Never mind. And Firestarter, in the meantime, also lost out on here, really. Like I said, he kind of has a foothold, but you can't call that a foothold. Also, this leopard. Ooh, spicy. It doesn't... Can shoot, like, down here, apparently. No, that's not a kill. No, nothing here. I'm not sure if Ghostie just wants line of sight and not have it, like, engaged it, but I don't think it can shoot too much down here. And this forest extends through here, so not too much into this area either. But yeah, I think, God, look at this. I think it's pretty clear that this is probably over for Firestarter. But Ghostie cannot just take this defensively. Like, he's probably gonna not be able to hold this up there, but as long as Firestarter can't get down there and completely hold this, he should be fine. Do 2A5s as well. Now he's gonna lose the little foothold yet. Now he's playing another M1T. What do you mean, why are you casting now? What are you talking about, balanced? Yeah, alright, so that's... Oof, that was pretty rough for Firestarter. That was pretty rough. Yeah, I don't know what this move was at the start from Firestarter. He just completely gave up the right side. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why not the weekend? Because yesterday I was watching F1 and the day before I was watching F1 qualifying. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't understand that move why Firestarter moved shit from the right over to the left. Like, literally everything. I don't get it. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna... Okay, let's do one more game. After that I'm gonna stop it because I'm not sure if my voice can continue much longer. I think I'm gonna do... Yeah, okay, let's do Tech B versus Blitz War. Mercedes won. Yeah, it was really complete bullshit. Vettel had to cut a corner because he lost the rear of his car and basically went over the grass and rejoined the track, which was basically like there was nothing he could do. Really, he was basically a passenger, so he had to join the track in a way that was deemed dangerous by the stewards. So Vettel got a 5-second time penalty and ended up being second even though he ended up the race first while leading basically the whole race. It was really bullshit. Although it was very spicy afterwards with Vettel's reaction and his actions. That was very spicy and entertaining, at least. The first game versus of Tech B versus Blitz War. Alright, let's do that. Tech B versus Blitz War. I already have this in here. Let's take a look at the decks. Hang on, is this Blitz Wars deck? That is quite a string. Blitz War. Deck B is Entente. So, Blitz War deck. Let's see. Eotalk. Interesting. Don't see that very often. M110s. No Mother 2 period. Other than that, nothing too fancy. Rico's rival Jeeps. Not having the PNMK on veteran in the vehicle type. Also not the Wildcat either. I mean, I would understand like maybe not putting this in if you have the Wildcat, but it doesn't have the Wildcat either. And the Wildcat is just really good. Tech B stack. Kubium 4, not the Osa. Two cards of M84A, that's whoa. Not upvetting your 16 M84As, but upvetting your M84A and Tech B. Please explain. Other than that, not really too fancy. Alright. Get into the replay. Tech B versus Blitz War. Oh, you chose this on the just on town on this map. Did you not send in a mech deck or did it get banned? This is gonna end badly for Tech B. I can already see it. Although I guess on town is one of the better non-mech decks to choose on this map. That is for certain. Yeah, this year has been very bad for Ferrari. There were two races where Ferrari had the chance to win. The first one, it was their mistake because something blew up or something stopped working in the car. So, you know, that's rough for them. And the second race, it really got stolen from them. In any case, enough F1 for now. What do we have here? So, what? Hello? Why are you starting over here? You are not amphibious. You're not amphibious. You're also. Excuse me? What? Okay. CH53 back here to start over the tree already in the air, but you could already start like in this area or like over here or over these buildings. So that's further back than it has to be. And that looks like a mid or left push to me. Probably left. Tech B pushing mid? Yeah, pushing mid. Yeah, definitely pushing mid. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, now they're just taking down. I don't understand what this positioning was. I really don't. Stroke in here. I've said it before. Always send like one or ideally like two cheapish squads for this area. Never give this up for free. Never, ever. Even if it's just 1 minute and buy something, don't give this up for free. This is free real estate. Like, I'm not going for the town, just this forest here. Because then you know if something is there, and you prevent your opponent to like put sneaky shit in here. Like Maglands. Blitzer likes his sneaking around. I guess the good thing is that if he wants to sneak something non-amphibious into this base, he has to take the bridges. And so Blitzer taking it slow here. Now realizing that Tech B is pushing down here and moving his units there. Fucking 2-stack. Neither started with the 2-point CV. I guess that's where the autocannons are nice, because they actually managed to kill this at max range with the autocannons. Did it just nearly get side shot? Oh, the power plants in 90. I think they might get stunned before they actually will hit with their Erics. Oh no. Oh, what's gonna happen here? Oh god. That's 2 cluster planes. And the 2A1 kills the one with the side shot. Moderna kills the automatic. Moderna gets hit by the first cluster wave. Second cluster wave is coming. 1 HP. More cluster bombs. Dead. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And the Mi-17 got killed by the Gepard. That hurt. That really hurt. And this is probably just gonna get killed by Lift Garden 2-1 and whatever's coming here. Now, I hope you can forgive me, but my throat is starting to feel very uncomfortable, so I'm gonna speed this up a bit while not much is happening. It's Fallschirmjäger 90 in the rear here. Just the way Tech B likes it. M91A being bought now, because Tech B only has 2 Modernas in his deck. Oh, and the cluster. Of the fact that he has a very high off-road speed and obviously a lot of space to maneuver means that he could fairly easily evade those cluster bombs without getting hit at. But these cluster planes are also both still alive. What did you do to damage your throat? I sucked too much dick. Nonetheless, I guess Tech B isn't in the worst of positions. Bitswar still doesn't really have a whole lot to stop Tech B here. So if Tech B bought some infantry right now, which is coming, he should be able to get back into like this area of Foxtrot without too much trouble and potentially getting up here. So if he's not going to lose Golf and can get Foxtrot, then he still has a chance to win this game. A good chance. It's still like more than 30 minutes to go. The Coup still hit once. Well, it also only has 3 missiles. Hey, guess what? If you had an OSA AKM, it would have been cheaper and potentially would have been able to kill one of those planes or something. Oh, it didn't hit even once, yeah. Well, that's your fault for taking the fucking Coup, because it only has 3 missiles and it's been out of missiles for quite a while and wasn't even able to take a single shot on the Block 5s in the second run. Just saying. There are the Block 5s coming in again. Coup reloading, by the way, because only now you decided to resupply it. By the way. And once again, not being able to get a shot off. Killing above 3. I'm waiting for it. Only 2 top armor gets out alive though. We are slightly damaged. And not a worst thing, but they again got out scot-free. And you don't want that. Fallschirmjäger 90 are still running around here. If they manage to can fight with those Mechanix 1 by 1, which they are right now, they should be able to win. And with those Dragoner, they will definitely win. I'm not sure if investing so many points on this side is a good idea. Probably should have put those Mechanix 1 in the forest and focus on this mid side, in my opinion. But then again, hindsight is 2020. I know what the map looks like, so I don't know what TechBee was thinking, obviously. Also, by the way, if he had like some squads here, he for one could have potentially sucked this Dragoner, and two, also those Milan too, which I don't know if they're gonna do something, but they could do something. I don't want to have infantry there. Don't talk shit about Osas around me after yesterday, fucking hand of God. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a... You guys are gonna watch a really good game on Thursday against Balanced. Trust me, it is a really good game. Honestly, like, not gonna lie, probably one of the best games of Wargame I've played in recent times. I don't know why he was waiting with... I don't know why he had an M91A and an M84A, and now he get another M84A, and now finally he decides to like do something with them. What did you spot that made you think, hey, I need another medium tank here? What did you spot that made you think that? I don't understand. Why not buy infantry instead? You already have a super heavy and a heavy tank that's also recon. Why not buy some more infantry, some IFVs or anything else to help you push up there? What is this M84A gonna do or help with that the M91A or M84A can't deal with? I don't understand this. Also, by the way, Milan here getting a hit off, so definitely gonna be annoying for... Yeah, hey, guess what? If you had infantry there and stopped the Milan too, you wouldn't have been forced to use your Playman style on a single fucking Milan squad. And 91A got down to 4 HP. The L2A1 is dead, however. Another one coming in now, though. Forcing the Ilthas a bit back. This force is gonna go to TechBee, which is gonna be very good, very strong position. We'll just lose infantry there. Would you though? I'm not saying you should contest this the whole game or something. I said you should put something there, because even if you lose it, you're gonna get notified what is there and when it's there and if there's something there. And even if you lose like 30-40 points there over nothing, okay? It's 40 points over a whole game. Whatever, you lost it. What if you know there are enough people who just send like 1 or 2 squads over this town and then do nothing for 20 minutes. If you had put 2 squads of infantry there, that would have meant that over those 20 minutes you knew there was something there, you knew that was safe, you could have put a CV in there. If you hadn't sent anything there, not only would you not know what is in there, you also wouldn't have had a chance to put a CV there at all. Not just because it might not have worked out in the scenario doesn't mean it's a bad decision. Because on average, I guarantee you, it is a good decision to send like 2 squads of line infantry there. Because on average, they're gonna hold their position long enough or force the enemy to even spend more points there than you spend there, or can do other damage, whatever. Because now what this is, Blitzwar has this +1 literally for free. One plane got killed. I think it was one of the F-16s. I think it's an F-16. Either cluster plane or ASFs. But I mean, even then, you can push up here theoretically, but these Panzerguns are gonna do a lot of work with those Panzerfaust 3s if the tanks come in close enough. Mechanisovanar is just gonna get picked up one by one. Lift Garden versus one squad, and now the other two decide to move up, which is way too late. Probably would have lost anyways because one of the squads was damaged and Lift Garden are shock. Still though, could have dealt more damage if he paid a bit of attention. Then I push up here. Probably should see if you can push up with those Palabranzi and those PvPs up there at the same time. Or I guess not, because now we lost the little things he had there. And 91 is nearly out of fuel. Oh, the MA-35 is gonna die if it's gonna get too close. Didn't we just killed 2 Milan 2 squads with one shot? Either they were down to 1 HP or they were out in the open. Anyway, that was funny. See, we got killed, and TechB does have a decent foothold here now. Look at this, just one salvo and just got fucking critted and panicked. Stunned, sorry. We're once sitting here doing nothing. Probably should move them down here. Oh no. That infantry is gonna die. RIP. How many? 3 mortars. Cluster plane coming in, not really doing anything. Even then, well, Blitzwar is just gonna spam his way back into the zone here. Mortar spam. Now for the infantry tank CV, Jeep CV here. Also, M84N sitting back here doing literally nothing. Just so you know. This one also sitting back far here. Not doing nothing, but I don't know, maybe better like in this area or like in this bush there. Blitzwar still +1 throughout the whole game. Only 12 minutes left, 12 and a half. M91H is not the best choice, I think. With the medium tank swam, like a base M91 would have been a better idea, though never mind, TechB doesn't have this in his tech. Kills one of the Block 15s, so that's nice, finally. 75 points. Finally paid off. Plus still, I don't know, like 30, 60 points that he spent on supplies. If only there was a missile system with like more missiles for a lower cost. Laman, very good job sending those 2 A1s. Peace Shrines getting killed before it can even do anything. Still, this is not enough. Laman getting mortared by the mortar. Yeah, of course, by the HS-30s. The automatic? No. What just killed the plane? Was it not the automatic? Something just killed the plane. Gepard here. That's why Kuba is good. No, it isn't good because it didn't even have line of sight on your piece, right? On your M91A. Your M91A was too far into the forest, anyways. Oh, that's a good Flamen. They should just move up and like see if they can get a side shot on the 2A1, maybe. Still, that's even though it was a very good Flamen, it's too much for one M84AN. Killed one Canonier Panzer, that's nice. Maybe move up this M84AN to help. I'm sounding a bit condescending to TechB here. I know. I'm just memeing, by the way. I don't always. I don't know what this is. Another cluster plane coming in. Coop M4 once again out of ammo. I'm not anyone A. That has been a lot. That has done a lot of work. Like it already shot 24 rounds. Oh no. That's a dead VHOR. Oh, it actually survived. Holy shit. That's medium stealth for you. Ah, the Leopard A. Only one was in range, so you can spot it. 3-1 missed twice in a row, I believe, so that's very unlucky. M84A and sitting here, still doing nothing. By the way. Oh, these 2-1s just getting free shots on those Proletari, that's and the automatic just finishing the job. What? Oh, I think he's like, did he buy this preemptively seeing if he could put it into Echo? Or did he accidentally buy 2? Or did he anticipate losing this one and he actually didn't lose it? I don't know. Probably that. In any case, I mean... It's block for killing the CV. There's a spare one. Spare CV you might think so, but when you're in such a bad position as Tech B is, you can't afford to buy spare CVs, really. So I'm pretty sure that he assumed he was gonna lose this since it was down to 3 HP even. And as soon as he thought, or my CV is dead anyways, he bought a new one. Or is he yeah, something like that. Twice as many points. Honestly, that would be interesting if like these if on some maps, like there were certain zones, like let's say Foxtrot, you know, on certain zones you could like get more points if you put in more CVs. Or if it had like mini sectors, let's say it had like 4 sectors, one here, like along the X, like one mini sector here, one there, one here, and one there. If you put in 2 here, or like 2 into 2 different sectors, while the opponent has none, you get like extra points or something. I don't know, maybe it's a bad idea, maybe it's a good idea. Like if like the middle contesting zones can get potentially more points depending on how many CVs or something, I don't know. But yeah, this game is over. Because actually this 120 points Blitz War. SMH can't even do math. Yeah. Actually pretty even on points, but those 2 Modernas at the start probably lost him the game, or at least lost him a potential draw. Steel Division 2 has like mini sectors, like lots of mini sectors, I guess, and you don't have CVs there. And I think you should never give out the bottom side. Unless like the opponent is doing like spending like lots of points there. I don't think it's a good idea. That's it for today. Like I said, my throat is starting to hurt. I've been streaming for nearly 3 hours, so plenty. I have a good amount of time in these 2 weeks, so unless my throat is getting worse, I should probably do another stream later this week. Maybe even 2 this week, who knows? And potentially next week as well. And then after that, maybe not as regularly, but we will see. Pay attention to like, I'd probably do like an announcement on YouTube again. If you saw this today, like 2 hours or so before a stream, and on Discord maybe as well. And maybe I'll also just, if I already know a date or time, I'll also put a comment down in a YouTube video, in the newest YouTube video. Like if I know that if by Thursday I know that I'm gonna stream on Friday, you know, I'm gonna put a comment down on Thursday video. And yeah, if I'm gonna stream probably around this time, maybe a bit later, maybe a bit earlier. We'll see. I'll see if I can get someone else to cast with me next time, maybe balanced. If not, you know, it's always nice to just ramble on my own without having someone spout some bullshit in between, you know. I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Pay attention to new upload tomorrow and on Thursday and Sunday as every week, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And yeah, see you then.